so bad. You tell somebody. Give me a Donald Duck.
What are you laughing at?
Donald Duck, no?
Donald Duck. The Harwich Mariners return home after winning 4 of their last 5. They've been on an absolute tear. They've won their last 3 straight games, putting up a total of 30 runs in that process over their last 3 games. Our red-hot Mariner team, really excited to see what they do here tonight. Josh Bostic returns to the hill after a pretty good start out in Wareham. It started well, and then things escalated and got away from the Mariners. But what are we looking to see from Bostic here tonight, Wyatt?
Well, he certainly took that initial step into becoming a legitimate starter in the Cape Cod League. A standout at Grayson College of JUCO baseball this season. Faced 7, and he retired all 7 in the men he faced early on in that start at Wareham. It was a 12-1 loss, started to unravel, gave up 3 extra base hits. He'll have to certainly come out here and pound the zone.
And Seaver King, he's been red hot, hasn't he? 9 of his last 10. He's also been walked, reached base 10 times in the last 2 games, including a 5-hit night last night. He was sensational. Also tallied his first home run out in Katuitt. How big has his addition to this Mariner team been so far?
I mean, he's created a huge spark throughout the lineup. It's the momentum that you need. Harwich averaging 11 hits over the last 3 games throughout its win streak. So you look to Seaver King not only as a contact bat, but as a growing power bat as well. Someone who can really hit with 1 or 2 outs on the board. He has a 5-game hitting streak.
Welcome into Al Graver Press Box. Devin Dobeck, Wyatt Kopelman along with you for the Mariners Anglers action as Bostic returns to the hill. Let's meet the starting lineup for the Chatham Anglers, managed by Tom Holliday. Leading off the shortstop, Sam Antonacci. Batting second, the third baseman, Aiden Mayola. Batting third, the right fielder, Carson Benj. Batting cleanup, the second baseman, Chris Maldonado. Batting fifth, the left fielder, Nolan Schubart. Batting sixth, the first baseman, Caden Kent. Batting seventh, the center fielder, Jansen Reeder. Batting eighth, the catcher, Hudson White. And batting ninth, the designated hitter, Jackson Jaha. Well, we mentioned Josh Bostic a little bit, and he was everything the Mariners thought they were getting out of the JUCO product. Came in, made 1 start for the Mariners. Started off really hot, was really mowing down the Wareham Gateman before he gave up a couple runs. Went 4 innings, struck out 4, walked 3, and once there was a home run hit off of him, that's when things really went south for him in his last outing.
Well, he's going to certainly have to limit the walks today as well, and that was the problem we start to see in the past couple of games. The Mariners last night gave up a particular number of walks. Jalen Jones walked in a couple of runs, and for Bostic, it's going to be important for a Harwich team that doesn't average a high number of walks per game just to find enough strikes and to get those strikeouts early on. He did a good job of mixing in that ground ball and fly out contact last time.
Sam Antonacci leads things off at shortstop tonight. Comes in hitting 192. That's 5 for his first 26 this season. First pitch from Bostic is fouled off right at 6:31. Beautiful night here at Whitehouse Field. A little chilly as it's been early on here in the Cape Cod Baseball League. 65 degrees with a breeze coming into our press box, which is serving as a wind tunnel currently. Partly cloudy, but a beautiful night nonetheless for baseball. The 0-1 is cut on and missed to make it 0-2. Talk about Bostic in his past season at Grayson College, a 2.52 ERA. Appeared 11 times, 10 starts, 60 2/3 innings pitched. 0-2. It's going to be fouled off again. So we'll stay at 0-2. 103 strikeouts, just 28 walks, averaging about 1.67 strikeouts an inning. He's been sensational and definitely on to bigger and better things. So really excited for Bostic. There's been plenty of buzz around his start here tonight. A lot of people anticipating him to make his Whitehouse debut as next pitch is fought off foul over towards Hunter Fitzgerald at first base.
And you take that initial step in being able to be versatile as a right-hander with the powerful fastball in addition to a devastating slider. Retired 7 up and 7 down. It's going to certainly have to come with some run production from his lineup today to back him up.
Bostic sets for another 0-2, and it misses just high. And so we'll have to do it again at 1-2. On deck, Aiden Mayola. Anglers trying to get some offense early. Offense has been a struggle. The Mariners lead them in just about every category down the board. 1-2 is cut on and miss, and that will be a strikeout for Josh Bostic. There's 1 away.
And that's a huge first out to get against the leadoff man in Antonacci, a star player for Heartland Community College, batted .515 in 62 games for a 57-5 Heartland Community College. And for Bostic, that's a huge strikeout, but he's going to have the defense behind him as well.
That brings up Mayola out of Palm Beach Gardens, New Jersey. Attends Oklahoma State, hitting just 143 this season. He's up for his first time against Bostic. Bostic comes set And the 1-0 pitch is going to be grounded over to Camarillo at short on the first and in time for out number 2. Let's meet the Mariner defense. They are tied for 4th in the Cape Cod Baseball League with a .975 defensive efficiency and 8 errors. From left to right in the outfield, Kennedy Jones, Ryan Wilson, and Lorenzo Carrier. Third to first in the infield, Kenny Lavari, Ali Camarillo, Seaver King, and Hunter Fitzgerald, with Andrew Yu completing the battery with Bostic. 2 away for Carson Benj, the right fielder for the Anglers. Benj comes in. He's 3 for 3 after appearing in just 1 game for the Anglers. Gets bumped up to the 3 spot in Tom Holliday's order. Really excited for his arrival. And the 0-1 is going to be dropped in there on the outer part of the plate. 0-2. Mayola stands in the left-hand side of the batter's box. As Bostic comes set. 0-2 pitch. Misses up high. Mariners in their home cream uniforms. Says Mariners across the chest in navy with navy numbers all trimmed in red. Cream pants as well with red hats. And the Trident M Mariners logo features on them. 1-2, misses up high again, 2-2. Anglers sporting some what appear to be new black uniforms. Says Anglers in orange across the chest with orange numbers, all trimmed in white. They are sporting gray pants with royal trim and royal blue helmet. As this one's lined into center field for a base hit. Carson Benj, welcome to the Cape Cod Baseball League. He's 4 for 4 to start off his summer campaign.
It's a huge hit there with 2 outs. It's a relatively scrappy lineup. This is a hitter in Benj who actually redshirted his freshman year after undergoing Tommy John surgery. And he and Nolan Schubert were actually named freshman All-Americans. Benj leading Oklahoma State with a .345 hitting average, a very resilient hitter.
In comes Chris Maldonado out of Vanderbilt, hitting .300, just 3 for 10, including a double to start the season. And he lifts the first pitch from Bostic out to Kennedy Jones in left. Kennedy's under it and puts it away for out number 3. So despite the hit, the Anglers strand the 2-out rally, and we head to the home half of the first. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Pretty brief break, but we're back. Devin Dobek, Wyatt Kopelman along with you. And let's meet the Mariners for Coach Steve Engler. They are red hot. Leading off, believe it or not, the designated hitter, Kalen Culpepper, who we haven't seen in that spot. Batting second, the red hot second baseman, Seaver King. Batting third, the first baseman, Hunter Fitzgerald. Batting cleanup, the left fielder, Kennedy Jones. Batting fifth, the right fielder out of the University of Miami, Lorenzo Carrier. Batting sixth, the center fielder, Ryan Wilson. Batting seventh, the third baseman, Kenny Lavari. Batting eighth, the catcher, Andrew Yu. And batting ninth is Ali Camarillo at shortstop. Ben Peterson is given the nod here, making his first start of the summer for the Anglers. Pitched back on June 16th against the Wareham Gatemen at Veterans Field. Was credited with the win after 3 1/3 innings of relief. Surrendered just 2 hits and 2 runs with a strikeout and walked nobody. He hails out of Cary, North Carolina, and is going to be a North Carolina Tar Heel. This past season, he spent with Florida Southwestern, made 10 appearances, 5 starts, 26 2/3 innings pitched, posted a 3.04 ERA to complement 22 strikeouts and 10 walks.
He's facing a right-handed clogged lineup here. As you mentioned, gave up 2 earned runs in 3 1/3 innings. That 7-4 win against Wareham. A 3-0 mark with a 5-point ERA and 1 save this past season. So he's pretty efficient in what he's able to do on a consistent basis. His grandfather actually played in the Yankees and Cleveland minor league organizations before his father, Doug, became an all-ACC kicker at Duke. A lot of athleticism in the family for this tall right-hander.
Culpepper digs in the DH tonight, although his defense has been fantastic. Swings at the first pitch, grounds it softly back to the pitcher and Peterson. It's a 1-3 put out, and that's how the Mariner offense starts. One away. Tonight's umpiring crew behind the plate is going to be Jeff Kinney at first base, Rick Antonio with Tom Ryberg at third base.
You get a quick out here just with one pitch, but now the real work starts if you're Peterson, even at 6'3", 217, facing a very contact-heavy hitter in King.
Seaver King digs in, went 5 for 5 last night, was fantastic. Comes in sporting a 4-game run streak as well as an 8-game on-base streak. He really has hit the ground running here in Harwich, ahead in the count 1-0 now. 1-0 pitch is going to be grounded back to the pitcher once again, snagged out of the air by Peterson. He flips on to first, and he better hang on to that baseball with how hot Seaver King's been, as that might not happen again tonight. 2 away for Hunter Fitzgerald. Comes in also with an 8-game on-base streak.
And King has actually advanced safely in 10 of the last 11 plate appearances he's made, a very rare instance that time for the incoming Wake Forest product.
First pitch to Fitzgerald is actually going to catch the outside corner for a strike, so says Jeff Kinney. Peterson going home to North Carolina, which has got to be pretty cool after transferring out of Florida Southwestern. And next pitch is caught on and missed, a little lower than the last one, but Fitzgerald biting there, and so it's 0-2. Long look in from Peterson, shakes the side, no pitch count for these guys. And the 0-2 is going to be chopped foul. And let's quickly meet the Chatham defense before we run out of inning here. Chatham third in the Cape Cod Baseball League with a .981 fielding percentage, 6 errors. Left to right in the outfield, Nolan Schubart, Jansen Reeder, and Carson Benj. Third to first in the infield, Aiden Mayola, Sam Antonacci, Chris Maldonado, and Caden Kent, with Hudson White doing the catching for Peterson. Another 0-2 coming to Fitzgerald, and he's going to roll it softly down the third baseline. Fair, tough play for Mayola. He fires on the first, but way wide. Gets away, and it's going to allow Fitzgerald to advance down to second. Should be scored a single and an error. Really no play for Mayola that time, but the Mariners will take it a free 90 feet. And so that puts a runner in scoring position for Kennedy Jones.
Fitzgerald yesterday found an opportunity to reach base twice, not by a hit either time. And that's a good quality you get with when the lone left-hander is in the lineup on most days rather than not here for Steve Angler.
Kennedy Jones' turn. The left fielder digs in. He's had a hot start as well. Highlight of his season thus far, a grand slam at Orleans. First pitch is bounced in the dirt, gets away, but no advancement from Fitzgerald, and it's 1-0.
Chatham defense has been great, a .981 fielding percentage for third in the Cape Cod Baseball League, and that time it was just a little bit too hard of a dribbler for Mayola at third.
Ball and no strikes. Peterson comes set. Harwich trying to jump out to the early lead where they've had their success. That one's in there for a strike. Jones hitting .217 this season with a .333 on base percentage. He's slugging .522 though. 8 RBI for him. That's just 4 off the league lead, which is held by Matt Scannell, not in the lineup tonight. 1 ball, 1 strike to the UNC Greensboro product, and he grounds this one up the middle. Going to be a tough play, and it gets through. Fitzgerald rounding third. He's head to home. Here's the throw, and it will not be in time. A little high, and down to second goes Jones. It's 1-0 Harwich.
You could tell Jones there looking to get back in the hit column today. Just a high chopper. Didn't even shoot it towards the power alley, and I really like the approach there, just being able to sit back on that. And it's going to be a single and advance on the throw. Harwich is just finding ways to get hits once again here in the early innings.
And Chatham, we just talked about how great their defense has been thus far throughout the first 9 games here, and they're throwing the ball around a little bit. Free 90 feet for Fitzgerald allowed him to get down to second, and then Kennedy Jones able to have that situational baseball we've been honing in on. Grounds it up the middle, 1-0 Harwich. As Lorenzo Carrier chops one softly over to second, Maldonado there on to first for out number 3. But the Mariners strike for 2 hits and add a run. They lead it 1-0 heading into inning number 2. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Top of the second inning, Bostic back out there after facing just 4 in the first inning. Benj the only one able to get a single off him, and Benj has been red hot, so if someone's going to do it, it was going to be him. As Nolan Schubart will dig in, the left fielder for the Anglers. Schubart out of Durand, Michigan, attends Oklahoma State, and he grounds the first pitch he sees foul off to the right. It's 0-1. Holiday says, in regards to Schubart, I sat behind the booth and watched him at Oklahoma State. He gets out of the box like Joe DiMaggio. He hits it about everywhere. Swing and miss makes it 0-2. Then he adds, he might be as good a freshman hitter as anyone in the country. He has easy power. He has struggled here early on after hitting .338 at Oklahoma State as the 0-2 misses up high. Most recently, he went 0 for 4 against the YD Red Sox with 3 punch-outs. Has just 4 hits throughout his 6 games here in Chatham. 1-2 misses up high, and so it'll be 2-2. .6'5", 227, though, a pretty big frame. You can see where that power comes from. Checked his swing that time. Did he go? Yes. So says Tom Ryberg, and so that will be the second strikeout for Josh Bostic, and there's one away here in the second.
And as you mentioned it, as a slight coincidence, Tom Holiday actually has connections to Oklahoma State, was the coach there from 97-03.
There you go. Caden Kent's turn, the first baseman. This season, Kent comes in hitting 286, out of Texas A&M. Soon to be a teammate with Ali Camarillo out of Austin, Texas. It's a ball and no strikes to start him. Next pitch is going to be in there for a strike to make it 1-1. On deck, Jansen Reeder, the center fielder. Chatham trying to respond to the early Harwich run. They've been scorching. 36 runs in their last 4 games. That's good for 9 a game, and they have just been all over the score sheet. The defense has been there. It's 1-2 count now to Kent. Fitzgerald hugging that first baseline, expecting the pull. 1-2 pitch is going to be fought off, foul. Jammed him inside. Good defensive swing that time from Kent to stay alive. Ball and 2 strikes to Caden Kent, the pitch. Swing and a miss. Breaking ball in the outside corner, and that's strikeout number 3 for Bostic. He is showing out in his homecoming here at Whitehouse.
Slider could not have been maybe more than 80 on that if I had to guess, and it was just a great sense of movement just going down the zone. Way out in front of it was Kent that time. Really
nice pitch from the Grayson College product. Also native Texas, McKinney, Texas. 6'4", 205 from the right-handed flamethrower. First pitch to Reeder is going to miss for a ball. 1-0. Hudson White, the catcher, on deck, still wearing the knee pads, unsure if his team will continue on here after this batter. 1-0 pitch is going to be lined out into center field, but playing it well is Wilson, and he puts it away. A nice shift put on by the Mariners that time to record out number 3. In order they go. Bostic faces the minimum in the second. 1-0 Harwich. We'll be back on the other side. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Six, 7, 8 for the Mariners. Ryan Wilson, Kenny Lavari, and Andrew Udu up for Harwich. As I mentioned earlier, their offense has been very dominant, especially compared to the Chatham Anglers. Harwich has the edge in runs, hits, walks, strikeouts, meaning less, on-base percentage, slugging, average, and OPS. They've dominated. The stat that I have notable that they tied in was home runs, each with 4. Mariners hitting .273 as a team, a really good clip. .224 for the Anglers, still trying to get those bats woken up. It's a ball and no strike now to Ryan Wilson, the center fielder, who Wyatt, you had a chance to talk to before the ball game out of Davidson. And as this one's going to be flipped into right field, but foul, and it escapes over the fence. It'll be 1-1. Yeah, what you inspire about with Ryan Wilson is just the respect he has for his teammate, Seaver King. He mentioned me as someone who has been very inspiring throughout this lineup. You look at what he's been able to bring. Wilson, meanwhile, he's on a 3-game hitting streak, taking right where he left off from Davidson as he led the Wildcats in hitting in the A-10. It's a ball and a strike now to him. And the pitch. Breaking ball is spoiled, and so it'll be 1-2. And yeah, with Wilson, when he arrived in Harwich, kind of a slow start, had a walk here and there, not too many hits in his first few games, but since then, you can count on him for a hit or two every game. He's been a great guy to have in that bottom third of the lineup, although batting 6 tonight. 1-2. Breaking ball misses up high, and it's 2-2. And it's a Harwich team that has the second most hits still from last night after a great win against YD. Wilson can just try and get something going here. It's a small spark that he can provide. It's what's helped Mariners. 2-2 pitch is going to miss down low, 3-2, and Wilson really came alive in that game out at Splain Field in Wareham. Of course, we talked about Josh Bostic and the flashes of greatness we saw from him there, but Wilson went 2 for 4, and the 2 times he got out were lineouts to the shortstop. And I mean, these balls were barreled up. Payoff pitch. That one got him on the hand, and he is in some pain. Jumping around. He's going to walk it off, maybe head to the dugout, right to the trainer. Amanda Lusky is going to check him out, as well as Steve Englert, who comes out of the dugout. Keep an eye on him, as he seems to be in some pain. But nonetheless, the Mariners will have a runner on first base here with nobody out.
Looks to be some attention given towards that pinky area. I initially thought it was closer to the wrist, but in regards to fastball slider, it's just not going to feel good tomorrow.
So we'll take a minute here and see what's going on with him. Might just be getting taped up. Tough customer, that is for sure.
It looks like he has the glove off as well.
Sting looses Peterson. He's going to continue to throw while we figure out what's going on with Wilson. Mariners do have some other outfield options. Should I get to that point? Devin Obie out of Duke arrived just about a week ago. And yeah, Wilson's going to head back to the dugout. So we'll see who the Mariners elect to put in to replace him. And yes, it is going to be Devin Obie out of Duke. Had a big double out to left field last night. Also walked, reached base twice, which was the performance he needed after going 0 for 4 in Katuitt. He did walk and score a run, but also earned himself the golden sombrero with 4 strikeouts.
Pitch running at first base for Harwich, number 24, Devin Obie.
In one way, Peterson has been able to get out of small jams thus far, even getting a run of damage back in the first. He didn't leave the crooked number. One main reason is that slider that's been working thus far.
Obie with a decent lead off of first base. Lavari digs in, and the first pitch to him is going to be a ball outside, 1-0. So hopefully Wilson will be okay. I doubt we'll have any updates on him. Probably just a really bad bruise, and it caught him in that awkward spot where the hand holds the bat. 1-0 is going to be fouled off, and it's 1-1. Obie, once again, taking a lead off of first. That sun, of course, becomes a factor here at Whitehouse for about the next hour when it's shining really hard out to the right side of the field, as Obie, really close play, didn't elect to slide back into first base and almost got tagged out in the process. A bang-bang pickoff attempt. Mariners have been picked off about 3 times this season. 1 headed back to the bag, and 2 times getting caught in rundowns when they're choosing to be aggressive and steal. There goes Obie. The throw down, a bit of a hesitation that time, and Obie is in there. Hudson White had some trouble handling it, and so Obie able to advance into scoring position with a stolen base.
It's a great trait to have, especially in this Mariners lineup. Went 0 for 4 on opening night. Last night had that huge double, however, just to turn the page, and right now Obie using that speed.
So no outs and a runner in scoring position for Lavari. And 2-1. Misses up high, 3-1. On deck is going to be Andrew Yu, still looking for his first hit in the Cape Cod Baseball League. He's had a slow start as well. Of course, grew up with Obie. They both went to Ensworth High School and now both play at Duke together. Pretty cool story. And then, of course, the Cape League. That one misses up high. Kenny Lavari. He's been a walk machine for the Mariners and earns another one this time. As they'll jog down to first base. Looks like no bat boys for the Harwich Mariners tonight. Not sure what happened there, but a lucky bench player gets to pick up all the equipment.
I don't know who that is. Sweatshirt's on.
Yeah, sweatshirt's on. We're only in game 9, so still trying to do face-to-name recognition. Andrew Yu digs in, the catcher out of Duke, as I mentioned. Played in the game against Katuitt. Batted at the bottom of the order and had 3 strikeouts. Did earn himself on base once with a walk, but a tough game for him. Also grounded out. Went 0 for 4. 1-0 pitch is going to be grounded up the middle and into center field, base hit. Obie rounding third, coming home. There won't be a throw at the plate, and it's 2-0 Harwich. Andrew Yu, an RBI single, and he doubles the Mariner margin.
Yeah, you struggled a couple nights ago in Katuitt, albeit the Mariners found a lot of ways to score those 9 unanswered runs. But for right now, with Chatham, leader in the Cape Cod Baseball League in earned runs allowed this year, that is not going to fare them well after getting an earned run back in the first, rather an unearned run, but still, it's going to hurt you. Ali Camarillo coming up, someone who's been finding a spark again as of late.
Yeah, the Mariner pitching staff also pretty much clears Chatham in every category but strikeouts. Chatham featuring 92 strikeouts this season compared to just 71 for the Mariners. But the Mariners have allowed 17 less runs and 17 less earned runs than Chatham. That has led to their slow start. They're 3-5-1, although a big win for them last night. We'll get more into that in just a moment. But it's 0-1 now to Ali Camarillo. On second is Lavari. Hughes on first. And the pitch is going to be chopped foul, 0-2. But yeah, Harwich leading in the pitching department in lower in runs, earned runs, hits. They've allowed only 56 hits to the 80 Chatham has. Harwich only walked 37 people compared to 49 for the Anglers. Anglers also given up 6 home runs. So, yeah, just kind of a bunch of skewed results for them early on. As Camarillo chops this one over to the shortstop, Antonacci takes it himself, throws on to first, and it's in time. A 6-3 double play. Antonacci showing off his athleticism, and that's a big play that the Anglers needed, although down over to third is Lavari. But it'll be a lot more manageable to get out of this inning after just having to focus on Culpepper now.
The designated hitter from Kansas State.
And for the Chatham Anglers, you look at how they've struggled on the road as well with their lineup, just batting 187 this season, despite having that ERA of 6. Have to limit the damage here. You still feel like you're kind of on third down with that runner on third.
First pitch to Culpepper is going to miss inside. Swung at the first pitch he saw back in the top half of the first, or the bottom half, excuse me. Grounded out to the pitcher, Peterson. He's got an RBI opportunity here. Lavari 90 feet away. 1-0. Is going to be grounded down the third baseline, fair. Heading towards the corner out by the 330 sign in left as Culpepper jogs in a second with a stand-up double and extends the Mariner lead to 3.
Culpepper has found ways to get on base. It's certainly paid dividends for this lineup now with a 9-game on-base streak. And although he wasn't on a hitting streak, certainly needed an RBI just to get going as he gets the leadoff spot here today.
Peterson not done yet. Now he's got to go through Wake Forest's newest weapon, Seaver King. Culpepper in scoring position and plenty of room out there on the right side for King. He's had some serious opposite field power, also been living up the middle. He's hit the ball just about anywhere you can. The only thing he's missing this summer thus far is the triple, and I'm sure that will come sooner or later. First pitch to him is going to be in there for a strike. It's 0-1. Nice off-speed pitch on the inside half of the plate. Bottom half of the second, 3-0 Harwich. Culpepper and the Mariners threatening as King chops this one foul off to the left, and it's 0-2.
One thing you notice about King and how he can translate going into Wake Forest, just that back load that he has in the back of that batter's box, but that time just came down on it instead of driving it through the zone.
No balls and 2 strikes to the Mariners' second baseman. Waggles the bat down below his waist, now brings it up above his shoulder. Moving that right elbow, looks locked in. 0-2. Almost got him in the head. He had to dodge out of the way. Well, acrobatic barrel roll there to get out of the way, and it's 1-2. King came in today hitting .517. That's just 2 points off the league mark, which is .519, set by Katuitt Kettleer. As that one's dropped in there, and Seaver knew it. Really nice breaking ball for Peterson to end the inning. But the Mariners strike for 2 more. The bats stay hot. 3-0 Harwich. We'll be back in a flash. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube Network. Josh Bostic, now with a 3-run cushion, something he hasn't had yet this season. He'll head back to the mound for his 3rd inning on the hill to face 8-9-1 for the Chatham Anglers. And for Bostic, he's faced just one more than the minimum early on. Looks really comfortable out in the mound. First pitch is going to be lifted out into deep center field. Obi jogging over to his right, and he puts it away for out number 1. 1 pitch, 1 out. Really efficient from Bostic. And that's how the 3rd inning starts for Chatham.
Somewhat of a similar script from last night. 1 hit in the first inning for the Brewster Whitecaps and that 1-out double. Bostic is really dialed in right now, not getting behind in counts, similar to what Tom Shimoleski displayed.
Jackson Jaha digs in, the designated hitter for the Anglers tonight. This season, Jaha making his debut for the Chatham Anglers, as he quickly is down in the count 0-2. He's the 9 hitter for Tom Holliday's Anglers here tonight. They are already down on the scoreboard as the 0-2 is cut on and missed. Ugly looking swing that time from Jaha, and he's tagged out by Andrew Yu. Around the horn they go. That's going to be the 4th strikeout for Bostic. 2 away.
6 straight retired here for Bostic. We saw him go 7 up and 7 down in Wareham, and he has a very similar rhythm to what he's been able to do thus far with the slider, in addition to the fastball to get ahead in the count.
So Antonacci's turn. Attended Heartland Community College. And as Coach Tom Holliday says, one of the best JUCO hitters in the country last year. Slugged .903 with a .618 on-base percentage. He was sensational for his club. .515 batting average. In the year before, hit .471, as if that bar wasn't already high enough. 1-0 to Antonacci as he watches ball 2 go by just off the outer part of the plate. 2-0.
With only 1 hit on the board thus far, Antonacci has to have a sense of redemption. Had nearly 35 multi-hit games in 42 starts.
2-0 pitch is going to be in there for a strike to make it 2-1. Coming off a game in which he went 0 for 4 with a walk. For Hart. Came in 192, and he's 0 for 1 today as he slaps this one off to the left over by the Mariner bullpen foul. And so it'll be 2-2 with 2 away. Bostic comes set once again. 2-2 pitch. Going to be fouled, jammed him once again on the inner part of the plate. And so that will be, once again, a 2-2 count.
Sat back on the slider for just long enough. A little bit early.
The lefty awaits the pitch from Bostic. Here it is. Foul tipped into Yu's glove. Wow, aren't those two in sync? That's strikeout number 5 for Bostic through just 3 innings. He's been really impressive. And that will be out number 3. Still 3-0 Harwich. We head to the home half of the 3rd. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube Network. Call to the bullpen for the Anglers early on here. Ben Peterson, the North Carolina Products night is over, and I apologize. He actually did attend North Carolina this past season, was at Florida Southwestern the year before. So he'll be returning there, but his line looks like this. 2 complete innings pitched, 4 hits, 3 runs, 2 of them earned, walked 1, struck out 1. The new wing is going to be Max Yell, coming out of West Virginia and Portville, New York this past season. Had a 3.54 ERA, a 1-0 record in his 17 appearances for the Mountaineers. 28 innings pitched, 23 hits, 11 earned runs, and 19 strikeouts to 15 walks. A lefty. And first pitch that Hunter Fitzgerald sees from him is going to be whacked out to the center field, but caught by Jansen Reeder for out number 1.
Fitzgerald had that single to third back in the first, and he saw an opportunity not to be wasted. But fortunately for the center fielder and Reeder, he didn't have any wind blowing out to center, as that would have probably been back to the track.
Kennedy Jones digs in. He had a big single back in the first inning to drive in a run, advanced to second on the throw. Thought about it, leaves it away, and so it'll be 1-0. Yell, this past season, a freshman, 6'6", 225 pounds for the 20-year-old, as that one's bounced in the dirt, and it'll be 2-0 now to Kennedy Jones. Lorenzo Carrier on deck for Harwich. Mariners trying to add to the offense they've already supplied here. They scored 1 in the first, 2 in the second. The pitch. In there on the inside corner for a strike. And the Anglers actually helped out Harwich last night when they defeated the YD Red Sox to allow Harwich to surpass them in the East standings. They sit at the top. Chatham remains in 4th with just 7 points, 5 behind the Mariners, or 2.5 games. As the 2-1's going to be lined into center field for a base hit. Kennedy Jones, back-to-back singles to start his night here at Whitehouse. But yeah, to talk about that game, a pretty crazy ending at Red Wilson Field. Anglers led 2-1, bottom of the 9th, as the ball was barreled up into center field with a runner on third base 90 feet away. Not hit too far, shallow center, and on the throw to the plate, Chatham was able to tag out the YD runner and end the ball game at 2-1. The tying run caught down at the plate. Check it out on the Cape Cod Baseball League social media channels. Pretty cool bang-bang play, and you really see Red Wilson Field get pretty upset, as why wouldn't they be? Tough way to end a ball game. No balls and a strike to Lorenzo Carrier, who grounded out to second back in the first inning. Jones leads off of first, not the quickest runner, as he gets back in there without a dive. Don't expect him to be stealing too many bases this season.
Yeah, he's still 4 in 59 games at UNC Greensboro, but right now with Carrier up with only 1 out, perhaps you can maybe try a hit-and-run opportunity instead.
Carrier caught fire in Orleans thanks to a 3-run home run on his first swing all season for Harwich, and then also added an RBI double. He was the first Mariner to have a 5 RBI game in years. Fantastic clip for him, and then last game was brought back to earth, in which he played against Katua, went 0 for 3, but did walk and was hit by a pitch. He's back in the lineup today, batting 5th. And he slaps this one out to deep center field. Back a few steps is Reeder, and he makes it while back trotting, and that will be allowed out number 2.
When I had a chance to catch up with Carrier a couple days ago, he just said he's trying to go out and hack. He's certainly looking to put the ball into the power alleys, and certainly carries over into his athletic frame, and clearly the message was there.
He also said how much he's already loved being in the Cape League, even for such a short time. It reminds him of travel ball, which is when he really used to have the most fun, getting really close with his teammates and traveling to local areas. It has been a blast for him. Much different from the college baseball experience he's had at Miami, I'm sure, traveling all over everywhere for that ACC conference that's up and down the United States. 1 ball, no strikes to Devin Obie, who entered the game after Wilson was hit by a pitch in left. Obie came around to score a run and stole a base, as counts even up at 1-1. Jones, a very minute lead off first base, as here comes the 1-1. Bounced in the dirt to make it 2-1. No advancement from Jones as Obi's now ahead in the count. 5 hits for the Mariners through just 2 2/3. See if they can add to that total and keep the rally on live for Kenny Lavari, who awaits on deck. 2-1 offering from Yell is going to be chopped foul off to the left. Just outside the dugout. Brian Arndt there to collect it. Got to hand it to these Mariners bench players, really pulling their weight to fill in for the Bat Boys. Probably take them for granted until you're in a situation like this. Talk about travel ball. Coach telling you to go get all the equipment and balls going everywhere. That's exactly what we're doing here tonight. Pickoff attempt unsuccessful of Jones. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away, with a runner on first for Harwich. The pitch. Bounced in the dirt. Nice stop. Jones thought about it and now retreats to first base. Seems a little upset with himself for not getting a better jump, but really nice job to knock it down and recover by Hudson White.
And if you're Josh Bostic coming out, 9 of the first 10 you retired, I imagine you keep that momentum going for as long as you're given.
That would be a treat to see. Payoff pitch. Just misses low and away, and Devin Obi draws another walk. A very patient hitter. He's really selective, and he lives and dies by picking what pitches to swing at. He either has had a bunch of strikeouts or he's lining them down towards the left field wall.
And he's very capable of getting the RBIs as well, but he was able to stay disciplined enough and read the pitch as well to the point where, although he didn't have a ton of walks rather at Duke this year, just knew that it was about getting on base first and foremost to keep the 2-out rally going.
2 on, 2 away for Kenny Lavari. He walked and came around to score back in inning number 2. First pitch to him is going to miss outside, a breaking ball for a ball, 1-0. All games active here tonight in the Cape Cod Baseball League. We will keep you updated with scores in the top half of the 4th. One and 0's the count to Lavari. The pitch. Bounced in the dirt to make it 2-0. Lavari this season comes in .278 for the Harwich Mariners with a .435 on-base percentage. He's been doing his job nonetheless, slugging .824 as well. Pretty impressive start for the second-year Mariner.
Katuit on top of Hyannis 6-1. It's a big game to decide how the Kettleers contain the momentum at the top of first place in the Cape Cod West.
3 balls and no strikes to Lavari. Actually played for the Anglers back in 2021. Just 37 at-bats for him as 3-0s dropped in there for a strike. Lavari hit .162 for Chatham with a .200 on-base percentage. And I'm sure Tom Holliday is like, where was this 2 years ago? When Lavari came up, played 12 games for them. 3-1. Caught on and missed. Really nice off-speed pitch that fell off the table. And so now Yell has loaded the count full at 3-2. Payoff. This is outside, ball 4. And so after Fitzgerald went out on the first pitch he saw, Jones was able to single, Obi walked, and now Lavari walked, and they're all loaded up.
The catcher from Duke, number 14.
A couple of encouraging walks here for the Mariners, considering that they had about a handful last night, and it's just been staying patient at the plate that's been really working for them. Mariners have had 5 worked off of on an opponent pitcher.
First pitch to you in there for a strike at the knees. You had a single, came around to score. Or no, he did not come around to score. He knocked in a run, excuse me, back in the second inning. 0-1. Misses high for a ball. He was the unfortunate victim of an Ali Camarillo ground ball that got him out at second before it was tossed on to first for a double play. Ball and a strike. Harwich lighting up the scoreboard early and threatening for more here in the 3rd. The pitch. Nice breaking ball that snaps right down into the heart of the strike zone to make it 1-2. 1-2 pitch coming for Yell. Here it is. Swing and a miss. Yu goes down on strikes. Would have been a ball, but got him to chase. So the Mariners threaten but leave the bases loaded. Just one hit and a pair of walks. We head now to the 4th inning. 3-0 Harwich. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Top of the 4th inning, quick scoreboard update here. Katuitt on top of Hyannis 6-1 in the top of the 9th inning from Lowell Park. Orleans on top of Brewster 4-0 in the bottom of the 8th. Brewster right behind the Mariners. Falmouth on top of Wareham 3-1 in the bottom of the 4th at Arnie Allen Diamond, and Bourne leading YD 4-2 in the bottom of the 4th. And for the top of the 4th, I'll send it back over to Wyatt Kopelman for the next 3 innings as play-by-play duty. Wyatt.
Yeah, Devin, it's been a strong start once again from Josh Bostic, the Grayson College product. Now faced his prior start at Wareham. Season debut, this one's lifted out towards center field. Obi calling it off. He makes the catch in right center for the first down. Now 8 straight retired, and you consider 5 strikeouts in addition to now 3 flyouts and a ground out, and it's been all momentum thus far for Bostic. He's been versatile as ever.
Yeah, this whole Mariners team is just working as one. They have seemed so locked in. It has been fun to watch.
Now the first on the way to Carson Benj for a ball. Has the only Chatham hit here today. It was a 2-out single to center field back in the first. Mariners need a road win here. Bourne 4-2. That one in the middle innings. Meanwhile, here for Chatham, just trying to find some sort of hitting momentum. Benj in the 3 spot today as the 2-0 is hacked back. That tries to get Bostic back in the count here. 6'1", 184. Native of Yukon, Oklahoma. Redshirted his freshman season after undergoing Tommy John surgery. Was 3 for 3 yesterday against Yarmouth Dennis. A big win for the Anglers. Certainly helped the Anglers, certainly helped the Mariners to get back into first place in the Cape Cod East standings, as Benj will have to protect here with the count even at 2. 2-2 inside. Now you consider what the Mariners have faced thus far, with facing some of the best in the division, dropping that 7-6 loss on Friday at Red Wilson Field, but the Mariners have certainly looked like a new team since then. Payoff pitch on the way. Line into left field, and it's down for a base hit. This will be at least 1, and it'll be only 1 here for Benj. Another 2-out base hit, as he had back in the first, and there's a 1-out base runner here.
He's got both hits for Chatham thus far through the game. Red hot, 5 for 5 to start the season for him. Saw what Seaver King's been doing and is trying to replicate it. He's been this Chatham lineup.
So 1 on, 1 away here for Chris Maldonado, the Short Hills, New Jersey native, playing 1 season at Vanderbilt, collecting 48 hits, 32 RBIs. Chatham in need of a run here to keep it to a slim margin here. First trip to Whitehouse Field this season. Chatham entering at 1-3 on the road this year. Lofted out towards left field, backing up Jones. He makes a catch on the way back. What a play from the UNC Greensboro product and Kennedy Jones as there are 2 away here.
And that was much easier said than done. Really nice catch by Jones there. This ball tailing away from him to his right, and he's able to just extend enough to grab. Really nice catch that time, and definitely saved it. Chatham probably gets on the board if that ball drops, or at least second and third with 1 away, and that completely changes the course of the game. Helped out Bostic a lot there.
1 time through the order for Benj now on first. Breaking ball inside to Nolan Schubert, hitting in the 5-hole here today. 0 for 4 yesterday at Yarmouth Dennis, has 2 hits in the 2 games prior. It starts to find a little bit of momentum with 2 hits against Wareham as well, as he lines it over to the right side and into the glove of Hunter Fitzgerald. The Old Dominion product shutting it down right away, as it almost seemed as if he was just almost too early there. So it's 4 to the plate here for Chatham in the 4th, as the Anglers score no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and leave 1 stranded in bench. 3-0 lead going into the bottom of the 4th here from Whitehouse Field on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network.
From Texas A&M.
Well, the Mariners left the bases loaded back in the 3rd after leaving 1 stranded in each the 1st and the 2nd. So a chance to redeem here, and it's Ali Camarillo leading off here in the bottom of the 4th. 9-1-2 due up in Camarillo, Culpepper, and King. Mariners getting an unearned run scored in the 1st before a pair of RBI base hits in the 2nd. As Camarillo shoots this one out towards right field. Playing the line, Kent. He makes the catch in foul territory. 1 pitch, 1 out. And Devin, that's kind of been a recurring theme thus far for the Mariners. Averaging 11 hits over the past 3 games. They're definitely aggressive early in the count.
They absolutely are. They jump on what they like, and that's been something that's helped them, but then there's other times it's hurt them. We saw Fitzgerald with a strong fly out on the first pitch he saw. This time Camarillo goes down on 1 pitch. Culpepper swung at the first pitch of the game, grounded out. So sometimes patience is key, but hey, you like it, and it's been working for the Mariners thus far. Why not give it a go? I'm definitely okay with the approach.
6 left on for Harwich last night compared to 15 against Cotuit. And you consider how it's been high risk, high reward at times this season. 15 left on in Cotuit, still 9 runs for the Mariners against a team with a top 3 ERA in the Cape Cod Baseball League in the Kettleers. As it's quickly 2-0 here to the leadoff man today, and Kalen Culpepper, the Kansas State product, starting 1 for 2 here. 3 runs on 5 hits for the Mariners, none on 2 hits for the Chatham Anglers, also with an error committed. 2-0 from Yell goes low. Freshman at West Virginia facing another Big 12 product here in Culpeper. Culpeper with a home run in the Big 12 tournament elimination game. 3-0. Spiked in the dirt that time. So it's going to be a 4-pitch walk here for Culpeper. He reaches for the second time here today. Culpeper, early on this season, Devin, and you and I have sort of recalled this on particular broadcasts this season. He was just reaching as a hits batsman. Then it started to turn into a couple of hits, a couple of walks, and now it's another walk that's carried in to this third at-bat of this game.
And this is exactly what you want out of a leadoff hitter. Jacob Humphrey's done a decent job of getting on base in more ways than one. Walks as well as hits. And now Culpeper picking up right where he left off in that leadoff spot. Finds himself on with one away.
Culpeper with a 9-game on-base streak after hitting a one-out double back in the second. So it's over to Seaver King now. Had a 47-game hitting streak at one point at Wingate of Division II baseball. And that has certainly helped the Mariners this season. Lofts it into right center field. Moving under it, Benj makes the play. They're 2 away.
Got to feel pretty weird for him to be 0 for 3 today after how he's been at the plate. But someone who has that can-do attitude. You know, he's been counted out, overlooked, played D2 baseball, and he just loves proving everybody wrong. That's been his mojo, and I'm sure that will continue to happen. Just off to a slower start tonight than we're used to.
And hey, there are at least still 4 innings left in this one. If this goes tied, then it's going to be 5 as well. Plus, you got, about 35 games to go in the season. So it's certainly not all for loss for King. Meanwhile, a slider that goes looping on the upper half to Hunter Fitzgerald for strike 1. So for King, he goes to 0 for 3. Struck out looking, a fly out, and a ground out. Now it's over to Fitzgerald with 1 on. Swings through a breaking ball. It's 0-2. Well, the key for Fitzgerald, finding ways to get on base, similar to a lot of Harwich members, this top third of the lineup. Fitzgerald hitting in cleanup for most of the season. Today he hits in the 3 spot. 0-2. Taken for strike 3 on the outer half. Another slider well placed that time from Yell, the West Virginia product. Doesn't face a man in scoring position this time as Harwich brings 4 to the plate. Scores no runs on no hits, no errors, leaves 1 on in Culpeper. Still a 3-0 lead going into the top of the 5th here at Whitehouse Field. This is Harwich Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Welcome back to a breezy night here at Whitehouse Field, Harwich, Massachusetts. Still a 3-0 lead for the Mariners over the Chatham Anglers, a team 2-2-1 at home, 1-3 on the road this season. The Anglers 2.5 games out of first place in the Cape Cod East standings. The Mariners beating the Brewster Whitecaps 9-3 last night behind a 6-inning scoreless start out of Tom Shimoleski. Josh Bostic aiming for that here as well as he faces Caden Kent, Jansen Reeder, and Hudson White. Sky down the left field line, foul. Mariners on a 3-game hitting streak or winning streak entering tonight. They've had eight runs scored in the early innings in the last 3 games. It's been a huge part of their success, including 9 unanswered runs against Katuitt a couple nights ago over at Lowell Park. So Bostic here retiring 3 of the last 4 batters he's faced. It was a 1-out base hit from Carson Bench. He has the only 2 hits of the day here for the Anglers. A 2-1. Missing low that time. So for Kent, struck out swinging back in the second, part of the minimum face for Bostic after he faced 4 in the first. And for Bostic, he had retired 7 of the first 7 he had faced over in Wareham, a 12-1 loss for the Mariners. Now on a slider taken just below letters, it's going to be 3-2 as Kent all of a sudden will have to protect. Again, Bostic battling back here. The first payoff pitch he's dealing all evening long here. And the payoff pitch, tapped foul down the right field side. So for Kent, at 6'3", 200, the freshman of Texas A&M, the son of Jeff Kent, played 19 seasons in the MLB, a 5-time All-Star, the 2000 National League MVP. He was 1 for 3 last night, looks for that first hit here today. Payoff pitch, the check swing, and it was too low anyway. So a leadoff walk here for Kent. He reaches for the first time today. It's the 3rd Anglers base runner all evening long against Bostic.
First real sign of turbulence we've seen from Bostic here. Excuse me, as a couple really hard lineouts, 1 to left and 1 to first back in the last inning. So the Anglers starting to see him well, and then a leadoff walk here. We'll see how he can rebound. His resilience was not quite up to par back in Wareham. That was the only really bad thing you could say about Bostic's performance there.
Well, we mentioned how Lorenzo Carrier, who is starting tonight in right field for Harwich, had really caught fire in Orleans. This is someone else who immediately caught fire this season in Jansen Reeder, the left-hander, at 6'2", 215. Goes to Kansas. He had gotten off to a 2-for-6 debut with a 2-run home run in the 4th inning against Brewster, a team that the Mariners just saw last night. So despite him being 0 for 1 here today, has a chance just to get a runner in scoring position here, something that the Anglers have not had all evening long, despite the 2 singles from Carson Bench. So the control of the zone starting to waver a little bit here for Bostic, as it's now 3-0. And it's 6 balls dealt in the last 9 pitches here for Bostic. We'll see how he rebounds here. He gave up 3 extra base hits after retiring those 7 straight in Wareham. The 3-0, taken for a strike on a fastball. That's a crucial pitch to get back in this one.
Haven't seen him go into the 5th inning yet this season, granted the small sample size, so we'll see how his control does, if it wavers or not. Seems to have just a little bit thus far.
5-pitch walk here to Reeder. So back-to-back walks here for the Anglers, a team that does not walk a ton so far this season out of the gates. And they're still not away. And it's been 12 combined innings for this Mariners pitching staff that has really led to a certain degree of low earned runs allowed. Just 4 earned runs allowed over the last 3 games in 12 combined innings. But right now, Bostic is in a jam. He's certainly going to have to get back into this one. You consider it goes beyond the physical aspects and just making that jump from facing junior college talent at Grayson College every day into just facing now some of the most premier talent in the country at the Division I level.
No kidding. And yeah, it's definitely going to get tough, but thus far he's lived up to the task. We'll see how he approaches the rest of this half inning. It's not going to be easy. 2 runners on. Your team's giving you a 3-0 lead, but tying run now brought to the plate with no outs is a little scary, so we'll see what we get out of Bostic.
So here's Hudson White, the 6'1", 200-pound Keller, Texas native. Getting the start at catcher again here today. Just got to Chatham. Huge spot already here for the Anglers, despite going scoreless through 4 and change. And Tom Holliday actually said a couple of days ago that what he's really learned about his team thus far is just how they've had to keep putting stuff together in the lineup, in the pitching as well. And what you infer by that, certainly a lot of departures and arrivals early on here in the season. You have some guys who were able to make it to Chatham after their collegiate seasons ended after the regular season as opposed to being in the postseason. This one's fouled back. And White, another one of those new arrivals. He was 0 for 4 yesterday against Bourne. Texas Tech product. 0 for 1 here today. Anglers only getting 2 base runners through 4 innings. Now they have 2 here in the 5th. Back-to-back walks. Big swing and a miss that time. Bostic showing a good deal of command. It's 1-2.
Does have the 5 strikeouts. Would be nice if he could up that tally. What a time it would be to get a non-contact out with 2 on, nobody away.
The Mariners staff has been capable of strikeouts this season at a high volume. That time Bostic unable to convert. So it's 2-2. Andrew Yu starting behind the plate here tonight, the Duke product. Wise not to throw it down to second on a potential back pick. And the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Foul tipped into the glove of Yu as Bostic picks up his 6th strikeout of the day.
And that was a big one. I alluded to it earlier, but got to find a way to get non-contact outs when you get runners on and nobody away, and that's exactly what Bostic did. I don't know what the pitching coach said, but apparently it worked. Tip of the cap, and so now 1 away, double play, could end the inning. We'll see what the 9-hitter can do.
Well, the chat from R.J. Thomas seemed to have worked well here as the first pitch to Jackson Jaha is swung on and missed. 3-0 Mariners here in the top of the 5th. Bostic trying to get out of a mini jam here. Now the runner's taking off. 0-1, throw down to third, and it's going to be not in time. Razor thing, close play at third. Tom Ryberg saw it the whole way through as there are now 2 runners in scoring position here against Bostic. It's just the test you need, and we'll see if he can pass it this time despite that middle inning blunder last time against Wareham. Now 2nd and 3rd with 1 out here in the top of the 5th. Kent on 3rd, Reeder on 2nd after back-to-back leadoff walks.
And Jaha still getting his land legs here in Cape Cod. Definitely a lot more manageable to ask for a sac fly or a ground ball to get a run in than a base hit.
Nice slider that time from Bostic. A Chatham team that is highly capable of drawing walks, similar to Harwich relying on a lot of strikeouts in addition to the groundouts this season. The 2-2. Fastball high. 3-2. Anglers not going away here in the 5th. 2 in scoring position here. Just 2 hits thus far. The 3-2. Swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts here for Bostic. And the runners stay hold at 2nd and 3rd as there are 2 away here in the 5th.
Big pitch that time. I mean, you can't ask for much more. Back-to-back strikeouts after putting the first 2 on with walks is just critical for Bostic. And he's now at 7 strikeouts. That ties the Mariner season high in an outing set by Sam Armstrong and Andrew Armstrong. No, not related. Just in separate starts that they had. Each had 7.
That one gets away from you and recovers just in time to keep the runners at bay.
Really nice block that time. If that one got any further, then the run would have been headed home in Kent. This is a big batter for Bostic, though. You got Antonacci. You punched him out twice swinging. And on deck is Mayola. He's someone who's been able to put the ball in play, so want to make sure you can stick to Antonacci here.
Huge spot for Chatham to try and put a 2-out rally together here. Already 2-0 here to Antonacci. Chatham already with 7 strikeouts here today. Can Bostic strike out the side? Spike down the left field line, foul. It's a Chatham team that enters with the 2nd lowest hitting average in the Cape Cod Baseball League right now. Harwich at 2nd at 273. Orleans at 170. 2-1. Inside, it gets away from you this time, as that will allow 1 to score in Kent.
And I thought that hit something related to the batter. I don't know if it was the bat or the person, but umpire Jeff Kinney didn't catch it. It definitely sounded like there was some sort of tick, Wyatt. I'm not sure why there was no sort of ruling, but unfortunately for Harwich, that will put a run on the board.
So Chatham with a run on here. It's 3-1 Mariners in the top of the fifth. Tapped over towards the right side. Short bouncer for Fitzgerald. He'll wave off Bostic and step on himself. Final out of the inning. But the Anglers answer back with a run scored with 2 outs here in the fifth on a wild pitch from Josh Bostic of Grayson College. Nonetheless, the Mariners lead 3-1 halfway home here at Whitehouse Field here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Bottom of the fifth here at Whitehouse Field. Jones, Carrier, and Obi due up here for the Mariners. The middle third of the lineup. Kennedy Jones, for now formerly of UNC Greensboro, now at South Carolina, stepping in for the third time here today. A pair of singles to center field. Wyatt Copeland and Devin Dobeck here with you on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Jones has been starting to swing the bat really well as of late. Had that grand slam at Orleans, a 12-2 win for the Mariners to start a massive 3-game winning streak, the Harwich Mariners' longest on the season. Maxiell, the West Virginia product, back on the mound here. No hit streak right now for Kennedy Jones, but someone who has helped the Mariners certainly hit above 200 right now. They were hitting just over 300 entering last night. Beat the Brewster Whitecaps 9-3. And Jones, you notice, Devin, that he can certainly take some deep at-bats. He was ahead 2-1 in the count before he singled to center back in the third. And we'll see what he's capable of doing here in the leadoff spot this time. 1-2 from Yell, misses low. That's a way that Jones is able to stay alive in the count, just that strong plate discipline.
Yeah, he's been doing a great job of putting together quality at-bats and then cashing in at the end of them. That is not an easy task to do. Coaches love it.
Again, Jones missing it outside. Didn't go for it there. Yell looking for a third strikeout here. Payoff pitch. Rolled over towards the right side. Maldonado scoops, fires, and it's just in time. Jones uses the speed so well, similarly to Kenny Lavari and Seaver King. He almost beat the throw there, but it beat him about a half second. So 1 away here in the bottom of the fifth. Now 3 straight retired for Maxiell. He's gone now 2 1/3 innings after relieving the starter in Ben Peterson of North Carolina. Gave up 2 earned runs, 1 unearned. That one being back in the first to get Harwich on the board. Now Lorenzo Carrier steps up. He ropes it into left field, and it's down for a base hit. Carrier was red hot in Orleans in his season debut. He had a 2-run double after a 3-run home run, and he picks up here, getting his first hit on the day after starting 0 for 2.
Pretty looking swing that time from the Miami product. Just went down and got it. Pitched down and in, was able to barrel up the baseball, and a nice line drive into left. That is a quality base hit.
1 out, 1 on here for the Mariners, looking to tack on their first run since the second. That one going low to Devin Obi. Pinch ran for Ryan Wilson, tonight starting center fielder, back in the second. Obi came on to stay in the third. Wilson has played first as well this season. Obi capable of playing corner outfield as well at times as well. Yell has gone unscathed thus far after 3 early runs for Harwich in the first and the second. Check back over at first. Carrier in maybe by just a whisker that time.
Yeah, that was a close play. He's got those big strides, though, so he's able to take a big lead and get back just barely in time.
Carrier with the 1-out hit here after a 4-3 ground out. Obi trying to keep the line moving.
Really nice breaking ball that time that was able to start in the middle of the plate. Obi thought he was going to put a good swing on it, and then it just cut down and in. Made him look uncomfortable up there.
1 for 3 with a double in his first hit of the season last night. Another pickoff attempt. Carrier this time in a little closer. Obi this season at Duke of the Atlantic Coast Conference with 10 RBIs, 13 hits, 236 at the plate. 1-2. Called looking on the outer half. A slider convincing from Yell that time as the West Virginia product picks up his 3rd strikeout of the night, and they're 2 away.
Tough break that time. That pitch, a borderline one on the outer black of the plate. Tough one to take with 2 strikes, but very difficult pitch to hit. Obi rolled the dice. This time didn't work out for him.
Kind of has that 10-4 movement on the slider, not your most lateral moving slider. But you take the outs that you can get here, try and keep Harwich out of scoring position. Carrier with a relatively strong lead off of first. Right now it's over to Kenny Lavari of Old Dominion. He takes it on the outer half for strike 1. 2 walks today here for Kenny Lavari. Has been in and out of the lineup as of late. The Vineland, New Jersey native of Old Dominion. 2 of his last 11 with a pair of RBIs, 3 walks in the road win against the Kettleers. 3 walks is crucial for a Harwich lineup that has certainly earned a good deal of walks this season. Inside, tough one to take there for Lavari. Harwich leading the Cape Cod Baseball League in walks, 51, just 5 ahead of Brewster. Chatham, meanwhile, kind of in the middle of the pack, but Chatham has been able to work 1 and 2 out walks at certain times this evening. A slider that time once again from Yell. Harwich seems like it's figured out the slider at some points here tonight off of Yell, who's gone 2 1/3 here. Chance for Lavari here, has to protect, and it goes low. A good take that time.
And this game's felt like it's been all Harwich, but on the scoreboard, still just a 2-run game. Very manageable for Chatham. They are still in this thing. Got to give a lot of credit to Yell, who was able to snuff out the offense that was booming in the first and second innings.
2-2. Just low. Another take that time from Lavari. Rising senior Old Dominion led the Monarchs in doubles with 16 and the second most hits at 68 this year. A huge step up from 2022. The 3-2 inside, ball 4. So Kenny Lavari earns a walk. It brushed him off the plate. Certainly drew a good deal of courage there to move Carrier to second. So still 2 away, 2 on here. This one not over yet for Yell.
And if I had a dime for every time Kenny Lavari drew a walk, I'd be a very rich man. That's his second 3-walk game in the last 3 games. So he's really been patient and finding ways to get on base. He's already scored a run here tonight. We'll see if it can extend the rally here.
Andrew Yu up here. Lots of balance to this Harwich lineup through 9 games this season. Certainly a good deal of guys capable of drawing numerous walks, as you mentioned, but you have Seaver King as well, who has worked his way towards the top of the lineup. Quickly 2-0 here to Yu, as a mound visit will take place here with Yell.
I'm not sure what's going on. I believe it was called by Caden Kent to talk things over. And I'm not sure exactly what they could be talking about because Lavari's now going to expect that they might try and make a move here.
Well, he's going to face 2 righties here at Andrew Yu and Ali Camarillo, so to consider approach here and sequencing maybe against the right-handers in the bottom of this Harwich lineup. Another Anglers pitcher warming up down the right field line. Wondering if this is the last inning here for Yell. He got out of a bases-loaded jam back in the third here for Harwich. Has not scored since the second. Chopped up into the second baseman, Maldonado. He steps on second. That's the only out he needs. As the Mariners, once again, leave 2 on here in the fifth. They score no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and leave 2 stranded. 3-1 lead for the M's going into the 6th here at Whitehouse Field on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. All right, a new pitcher into the ballgame here for the Mariners in Xavier Martinez, the 6'1", 180-pound sophomore of CSU Northridge of the Big West. He relieves Josh Bostic after his second start this season. Bostic with a season-high 7 strikeouts, a season-low 1 earned run, 2 hits, a pair of walks in 5 innings. Martinez set to face Aiden Miola here. Aiden Miola due up as he's 0 for 2 to start the day, grounded out to shortstop back in the first, flew out to center in the fourth. Carson Bench and Chris Maldonado behind him here for an Anglers team with just 1 run on 2 hits. Meanwhile, the Mariners, Devin, have left 8 on thus far. It has not been the most promising night from the lineup through 5 innings, and now you look for a quick 1-2-3 inning to try and look for some redemption thereafter. 2-1 now here to Miola.
And you certainly will take 6 hits through 5 innings. It's just a matter of cashing in, and that's what Harwich has failed to do tonight. But they've been so successful with it in the past, it'll return.
2-1. Skied out towards the first base side. Yu removing the mask. He's going to get back to the dirt, and he won't be able to make the catch. He tried to snow cone it that time, and Andrew Yu nonetheless unable to put away out number 1 here. So for the Mariners on opening day, they had certainly a lot of positives, a lot of areas to improve upon. They were 0 for 8 with 2-out hitting. They struck out 7 times before the 5th. And I think that 8 games later, they are certainly improving in a sense. They have only struck out 4 times here today, but always looking towards improving at another point.
Batter's interference, I believe we're going to get. Tom Holliday, not pleased. He's got some words for Jeff Kinney.
Now, it seemed as if Yu was alone back at the dirt behind home plate right next to the Chatham dugout. but to think of how he was impeded upon before he actually left the home plate circle. So now one away here in the top of the sixth.
Nope.
But first, the umpiring crew are going to get together.
Yeah, and I think this will be tough to overturn if the home plate umpire was the one who pulled the trigger on it. They're probably just going to talk to suffice Tom Holliday. Maybe someone saw something else, but hopefully this doesn't get overturned, both for the Mariners' sake and because I'm writing in ink in my scorebook.
Well, no video review here in the Cape Cod Baseball League, so it only goes between interverbal discussion here. Miola was 0 for 2 here today.
He does have a right to the batter's box. I didn't exactly catch what happened. Oh, and it's going to be verbal interference we're now hearing.
So no physical batter's interference. But all the while, Steve Englert still having a word with the umpiring crew here today. Jeff Kinney at home, Rick Antonio at first, and Tom Ryberg at third.
And now that we know it's verbal interference, I'm not sure how you can call that now. I mean, fans can be saying stuff too. We do have our first final. 4-2, the Firebirds take care of the Whitecaps. I have no idea what that symbol we just saw mean from the umpire, Jeff Kinney. And neither does Aiden Mayola.
Seemed as if Yu's path to the ball was unimpeded behind home plate. But that does not be the top concern, is now they're going to throw Miola out.
No, they're going to throw out Holiday, I believe. Maybe both of them. As Holiday's on his way out.
Miola looks to be right behind him as well.
And he's getting his money's worth.
Holiday is still barking at the first base umpire and Rick Antonio. Miola now back in the dugout. I don't know if they tossed him as well.
Yeah, I don't think they tossed him. I think it was Holiday mouthing off. Had a similar situation last year like this, although it carried on way after the ejection.
Well, either way, it's one out here for Carson Benj. Holiday now talking with a couple of Anglers fans on the hill on the first base side here at Whitehouse Field.
I don't even know what to think at this point. That was really bizarre chain of events. And honestly, Tom Holliday is someone who traditionally has had a short fuse, but I can't blame him for that one. That's kind of a ridiculous call. Verbal interference. I mean, you think about the pros and all the fans screaming at them constantly, and, you know, using your words shouldn't be means to record an out. I don't know about that one. I think I agree with Tom.
It's a put out to the catcher on Miola in the scoring here. Harbor Hawks behind the Katua Kettleers at Lowell Park, 6-1 in the ninth.
I have a feeling that game's over. It's been in the top of the ninth for years, and there's been no score change. It might be just a point streak issue.
2-2, swing and a miss. Martinez picks up his first strikeout of the night after relieving Bostic here in the sixth, and they're quickly 2 away. Kind of like dusty books on a shelf. You forgot to take them down and dust them off. Updating the score as well is certainly important down the stretch of the league as well. So that'll bring up the second baseman in Chris Maldonado. 8th strikeout here for the Mariners staff tonight. Bostic getting a season-high 7. Nobody on here. The Mariners on top of the Chatham Anglers for the first time in their first meeting this season. 2-0 here to Maldonado. Flied out to left back in the first, lined out to left in the fourth. a top 150 prospect in the state of New Jersey this season. The Mariners today getting on the board first with an unearned run in the first. 2 runs in the second. Couple of RBI base hits. That one a strike to keep it from a 4-pitch walk. I've seen a little bit of Martinez this season. He's only pitched once for the Mariners. Helped CSU Northridge to a 19-10 conference record for their 3rd best mark in the Big West in 2023. That one lofted out towards right field. Moving in Carrier, and it's a 1-2-3 inning here for Xavier Martinez. A pop out, some verbal interference, a strikeout swinging, and a fly out as well.
Just when you think you've seen it all.
Down in order go the Chatham Anglers here in the 6th. 3-1 lead for the Mariners going into the home half of the 6th here at Whitehouse Field on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Another new pitcher into the ballgame here for the Chatham Anglers of Charlotte, Miles Langhorne. The right-hander at 5'11", 200, native of Greenwich, Connecticut. He originally committed to Vanderbilt. And he actually shut down his arm the senior of high school to pitch for the Worcester Bravehearts of the Futures League. He'll face Ali Camarillo here in the 9-hole, followed by Kalen Culpepper and Seaver King. Misses outside with a fastball for strike 1. Camarillo today 0 for 2, grounded out to short back in the 2nd, and fouled out to first in the 4th. 3-1 lead for the Mariners over the Anglers. Skied out towards shallow right center field. Moving to his left, Reeder, and instead it's going to be Benj in right field. They can join, and there's one away here as Camarillo falls to 0 for 3. At Charlotte this season, Langhorne with a 7.11 ERA, 1-2 for the 49ers, 25 1/3 innings pitched. Gave up just 4 home runs, 25 strikeouts, a relatively efficient pitcher to be looking for here for a Anglers team with a 5.7 ERA entering today. Mariners looking to go for 4 straight here after defeating the Brewster Whitecaps last season. There's a nice slider down the middle. It might just be a little bit better, if not on the same sense of capability as Yale had, the West Virginia product. 0-1 to Culpepper, gets all the way to the backstop. Final line on Yale, speaking of which, 3 innings, no one runs, 2 hits, 4 walks, 3 strikeouts. He faced 15 batters after a short start, if you call it that, perhaps an open from Ben Peterson. 2 earned runs there, 3 runs total. 1-1 just misses high. Try to go back to that slider. It's 2-1.
And we've seen some really short outings out of starters against the Mariners as of recently. 2 innings here. We saw 2 1/3 at Orleans and 2 1/3 at Katuitt.
And the Mariners have begun to climb back into this one, as this one is lined into right field. It's a base hit for Kalen Culpepper as the K-State product moves to 2 for 3 on the day after a walk back in the 4th, and the Mariners have something to work with on the base pass again.
Yeah, I guess he likes being in that leadoff spot. 3rd time he's been on base, also has that walk. And he's really fitting the part there, doing his job to get on for the heart of the order.
Mariners with 5 hits across the top 4 in their lineup. Rather, the top 3, I should say. 2 hits out of the cleanup hitter in Kennedy Jones. Seaver King telling Culpepper to hold up there. Quiet evening for Seaver King thus far, if you're just joining us. 0 for 3. Grounded out to the pitcher in Peterson of North Carolina. Struck out looking in the 2nd, flied out to right back in the 4th. Had a single game high 5 hits last night. Has the 2nd best batting average in the Cape Cod Baseball League right now at .517, entering the Mariners' second half of their 2-game homestand here. Twin bill at home, should I say, and it's going to be 1-1 here to King. Runner goes. The throw down to second in time. An excellent play that time and a great gun down from White behind home plate. King is going to have to work with nobody on here. There's 2 away. The first caught stealing attempt here for the Mariners tonight.
And that would have really been sweet to put him in scoring position for King, followed by Fitzgerald. And fortunately, it unloads the bases and now 2 away. I like the Mariners being aggressive, especially with the pace this ball game's been played at, but yeah, live and die by it.
Now 2-2 here to King. So that sets up the new pitcher in Langhorne to face the minimum here if he's able to retire King. Looking for that 5th strikeout for the Anglers here today. The 2-2. Slider just misses that upper outside corner. King has brought the plate discipline at times this season. Nobody on, 2 away. The payoff pitch. Swing and a miss, a foul tip. And King is going to stay alive here.
Hey, you'll take the defensive hack. Probably would have been ball 4, but Seaver King, a hitter, and he gets another chance to do just that here.
King was 7th in the nation in total hits, 3rd in hits per game at Wingate. He's been a huge force to reckon with in the top third of the lineup. 3-2, smashed foul. It's becoming a good at-bat here for King. 15 for 29 on the season. It's been more than just a good start. He's had 8 RBIs as well. Mariners got 5 out of Bostic in the start here today for a Mariners team that has pitched quite well at home this season. ERA of 2.23 inside Whitehouse Field. King trying to keep the inning alive. The payoff pitch, tapped foul.
Another really good at-bat out of him. Even when he's not putting in play, he finds ways to help his team, getting pitchers deeper in accounts, eating up their pitch counts and shortening their outings. Really productive one way or another.
It's been a huge characteristic for King to stay in the lineup consistently this year. Payoff pitch, a swing and a miss. King strikes out for the second time tonight. The Mariners unable to bring more than 3 to the plate here in the 6th, despite getting a 1-out hit from Kalen Culpepper. 3-1 lead for the Mariners going into the 7th here at Whitehouse Field on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. 2-run lead for the Mariners going into the final innings here at Whitehouse Field. The Orleans Firebirds over the Brewster Whitecaps 4-2. Team the Mariners just faced last night. Back over to Devin Dobek here. Devin, certainly going to be interesting to see how Xavier Martinez progresses in relief.
Yeah, had a pretty clean inning. Of course, had a little help as this one's lifted out to deep right field. Going back is going to be Carrier. Can't get to it. Picks it up at the warning track, and he'll fire it in, but it's going to be a leadoff double to start the Angler 7th frame. And that's what the doctor ordered if you're Chatham. Nolan Schubart now 1 for 3 on the day.
Schubart just shot that one out of the cannon, and even for Carrier, who takes those wide strides, as we've seen from him in right field this season, just a slight advantage that time for Schubart.
So now it'll be Caden Kent's turn. He's 0 for 1 on the day, struck out back in the second, and also walked, came around to score. First pitch is going to be in there for a strike. Martinez did pitch once this season, was credited with the win after going 2 2/3, struck out 4, walked 3, gave up just 1 hit, and a couple runs as well. 0-1 coming now to Caden Kent, and it will miss for a ball. 1-1. Jansen Reeder on deck. Chatham now into the final third of the ball game, trying to get some run production. It's still very manageable 2-run lead. A really nice fastball that time on the outer part of the plate. And that makes it a 1-2 count. Martinez ahead. Beautiful pink clouds.
I was just about to
coming over
say.
here at Whitehouse Field. Nice little scenery. We've had some nice sunsets, and we've also had some red skies last year. That was really interesting, to say the least. There's some sailor line that goes along with that about whether or not you should go on your boat. I forget what it is. It escapes me. But 2 balls and 2 strikes to Caden Kent. And the pitch. Bounce in the dirt. 3-2. A walk here would be pivotal for the Chatham Anglers. They were in this situation first and second, nobody on, and they were able to only scratch around 1. Payoff is going to be slapped out into left field. Kennedy Jones takes a step in, puts it away casually in his back pocket. There's 1 away.
It's going to be a key here for Martinez, second outing on the season, just to induce the fly ball contact. Did that to end the 6th. I really like the approach nonetheless from Caden Kent, just to try and get on base with a hit here today, but just hitting right into the reach of Kennedy Jones that time.
Some serious cheers going on in the bleachers. Not sure if they're Jackson Reeder fans or not, as this one's fouled off and out of play off to the left. So it'll be 0-1.
They'd have to come a long way from Edmond, Oklahoma to see Reeder play. Not uncommon, however.
A 1 pitch. In there for a strike at the knees. It's going to be 0-2. Reeder on the day flew out to center back in the 2nd inning, and he's also walked and was stranded at 3rd back in that 5th inning that Caden Kent started. 0-2 is bounced in the dirt to make it 1-2. 7 hits for Harwich, 3 for Chatham. Harwich leading in the score department 3-1. Anglers have committed 1 error on a throw. None for Harwich thus far. 1-2 pitch set to come. It's going to be chopped up the middle. Going to be a tough play for King. Fields it on a couple bounces over to first in time. Had to rush the throw and got it there to beat the runner in Reeder. As over to 3rd goes Schubart, and now the 2nd Chatham run is just 90 feet away for Hudson White.
That's the right play by King that time. Going to first, it would be quite unthought of just to try and go over to 3rd. The Mariners entering with a top 4 fielding percentage today, just making 8 errors on the season.
First pitch coming to White. Misses low for a ball. White on the day flew out to center and was the 6th strikeout victim of Josh Bostic. Here comes the 1-0. Just missed low. Nice slider. Tough to lay off of, but credit to White. It's 2-0. He's ahead.
Martinez retiring 5 of the last 6 here. We'll see how he battles back.
2-0 pitch. He is going to miss just inside, and then it'll be 3-0.
He fell behind in that 3-ball count in the 6th before forcing a flyout. We'll see how we can approach it here.
3-0 from Martinez. In there for a strike. It's 3-1. Around the rest of the league, Falmouth on top of Wareham 5-1 at Arnie Allen Diamond in the top of the 7th, and Bourne on top of YD 6-2 in the top of the 8th. Tough start for the Braves, but if they can help out the Mariners, they will take it. As 3-1 misses low, and it's 5-pitch walk to make it runners at the corners with 2 away. Looks like we have a pinch hitter due up for the Anglers. It's going to be Mark Schallenberger.
Your attention, please.
Anglers have not been all over 2-out opportunities here today, aside from that 2-out single to center field from Carson Bench back in the 1st. Mariners have gone down in order 3 times here today. And right now they're trying to change the table here, turn the tables rather, move a pinch hitter and a lefty to face the right-hander Martinez.
First pitch in there for a strike. And so it'll be 0-1 now to the pinch hitter Schallenberger.
He pinch hit last night as well, went 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Big spot here.
Jaha punched out twice before being removed from the game. As the 0-1 is bounced in the dirt, 1-1. See how aggressive Chatham elects to be. Hudson White, the catcher, over on first base. This season, White has not attempted to steal a base, but that would represent the tying run if he could get in a scoring position. My guess is they're going to let Schallenberger swing. He's behind in the count 1-2. As time will be granted here. Home plate umpire Jeff Kinney announcing it. Not sure what exactly he's writing down, but
seems as if you only have so many chances to call for time here. And it looks like the Anglers just used one of them.
1-2 pitch. In there on the inside corner, Kinney rings him up. Really good pitch from Martinez to strand runners at the corners. Mariners take a 3-1 lead into the stretch. Time to stand up, get up, and stretch it out here at Whitehouse. We'll be right back on the other side. 3-1 Harwich on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Bottom of the 7th. And due up for the Mariners, Hunter Fitzgerald, Kennedy Jones, and Lorenzo Carrier. 3-4-5. Chance to add some insurance for Martinez, who's done his job, kept the door shut on the Chatham offense, who's been trying to break in. Looks like it's going to be Del Vecchio warming in the pen for Harwich, the lefty. Not sure if he'll get the nod for the 8th inning. Wouldn't surprise me. Last pitched against YD. as that one's going to be fouled back right in front of us here in the press box, and it's 0-1. Fitzgerald on the day singled, came around to score in the first inning. Flew out to center in the third and then struck out looking back in the fourth. This will be his fourth time up to bat here. So the Mariner offense has fizzled out just a little bit. 0-1 is cut on and miss. Right over it was Fitzgerald, and it's 0-2. Kennedy Jones on deck. Mariners looking to add to their lead. Miles Langhorne back on the hill, and his 0-2 pitch is in there. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Miles Langhorne sends Fitzgerald down on strikes for the second time tonight. And so that will be one away here in the home half of the seventh.
Left fielder from South Carolina, number 27, Kennedy Jones.
Kennedy Jones's turn. He singled in the first, singled in the third, and grounded out to second in the fifth. See what he can do here in his fourth plate appearance. Bostic lined up for the win. Mariners trying to give it to him. He's definitely earned it, as breaking ball just misses inside. Jones ducked out of the way, and it dropped really close to the strike zone. Mariners catch a break there. 1-0. In there for a strike. Another really good breaking ball that time. Langhorne has had his location thus far. A pair of strikeouts in just 4 batters he's faced. The minimum. 1-1. This is way up high. Gets by everyone, including the catcher and Hudson White. And so it'll be 2-1. White jog by Brian Arnover to get that baseball. On deck, Lorenzo Carrier, 1 for 3 on the day. It's getting really cool out here in Harwich. Around 60 degrees now. 2-1 pitch is going to miss inside once again. Make it 3-1. And yeah, when that sun goes down, it really comes to be cold here in Cape Cod. 3-1. This is up high, and it's a 5-pitch walk for Jones. Third time he's been on base today. And when you factor in the fact that the summer solstice was today and how it's still just barely 65 degrees in Cape Cod, not something we are used to seeing at this time of year in the 508, but we play baseball. Kind of got that October feel to it, maybe a touch warmer.
Devin, I did remember the fleece today.
There you go.
Yep.
That's pivotal. I threw on my sweatshirt a couple innings ago, as that one misses up high for a ball. I could just close the window, but I like to have the window open. Get the best of both worlds. That's why I bring my sweatshirt.
Yes, absolutely.
You, on the other hand, that window stayed shut, I think, all season.
It could stay shut.
From the beaches in Miami to the 508, has not gotten much warmer for you. As the 1-0 pitch to Carey misses up high 2-0, and now White's going to want to have a word with pitcher and Langhorne.
I mean, I do enjoy seeing a shift in tree lighting as well. You know, it's just kind of refreshing to see all the vegetation and the scenery that just changes instantly.
Yeah, you don't get a whole lot of that down there.
Nope, definitely not.
And then your hometown, you're from Manhattan, so
yep.
Can't imagine you see too much green there.
Well,
Maybe Central Park.
Well, I did kind of grow up with that as a backyard, but I mean, you consider how actually everything down in Florida, when you kind of leave South Florida, you get to Central Florida, it looks relatively different in a pretty quick manner as you're just going up the coast. It's interesting.
I'll have to get down there a few times.
Absolutely. Welcome you.
2-0. Breaking ball misses up high, and so the mound visit didn't do much good. 3-0.
Yeah, it was just really to go over the mechanics there. And for this kind of right-hander on the mound, he has a great slider. We've seen in numerous instances following up on Yell today. But he just needs to get that breaking ball to actually break in the zone.
3-0 pitch coming. In there for a strike on the outer part of the plate, a close one. And Carrier now can choose to swing if he wants. Just past 8:30 Eastern time here into the bottom of the 7th. Mariners clinging to that 2-run lead in an in-division rivalry matchup. Carrier, big hack at that one. Wanted all of it, got none of it. And so it'll be a full count, 3-2. Jones over at first base. Long look in from Langhorne. Payoff coming to Carrier. He pops it up, shallow center field. Going back is Maldonado. Coming in is the center fielder Reeder, and it's going to be the right fielder Benj who comes in, loses the cap, makes the play, and that's out number 2.
He's been active in right field a lot today, as this right-handed heavy lineup has been a little bit late to the ball at times, and Benj hasn't been afraid of actually just getting to the ball. He's had a lot of momentum going into his acceleration. He's played the line pretty well as well.
Devin Obie digs in. Obie on the day is 0 for 1 with a strikeout. He's also walked. Came in as pinch runner and scored a run. First pitch to him, misses low for a ball, 1-0. Yarmouth, Dennis trying to get back in it. They put up a run at 6-3 against the Braves. Here comes the 1-0 to Obie. 2 balls and no strikes now. That one misses inside.
Orleans and Yarmouth Dennis are after Chatham tomorrow. It's going to be a tough stretch, even though Orleans has been at the bottom of the standings.
2-1 is cut on and fouled off to make it 2-1. As you mentioned, Wyatt, the Mariners on their 2-game homestand for now. That will end tomorrow as they will travel, or no, it'll be back here against Hyannis. I misspoke, as this one's lined down the right field line, fair. Rounding first and going into second is Obie. Rounding third, coming home is Jones. There won't be a throw, and into third is Devin Obie. A triple for the Duke Blue Devil, the first triple by a Harwich Mariner this season. And it adds a run, a big hit with 2 outs for Devin Obie, making the most out of coming into the game late. Wasn't expecting to play, but stayed ready, and it pays off. An RBI triple.
And it's with 2 outs as well for Obie. That's critical for him, just to get his confidence going against Langhorne, who had 20 earned runs with a 1-2 record and 13 appearances at Charlotte this year. He had 25 strikeouts in just the same number of innings in his first year with that program. So he's been efficient, but he's been falling into it here, and they're going to leave him out there to finish.
First pitch to Lavari. He has not recorded an at-bat today, despite starting. 3 walks. That's good for 0 for 0. Definitely pumps up that on-base percentage, though. He's ahead in the count, 1-0. Over at third is Obie. Mariners looking for another. The pitch. Breaking ball is in there on the outer part of the plate, 1-1. Coming set is Langhorne, and the pitch. Another really good breaking ball, late movement, and it snapped quick and hard. Ball and 2 strikes to Lavari. Andrew Yu on deck. Mariners looking for some more offense, heading into the final 2 innings. 2-way and Obie on third. The pitch. Misses up high, 2-2.
Plate discipline has carried Lavari here tonight. He has a runner on third. We'll see what he elects to do here. He knows he has to protect. The at-bat's still alive for more.
Here's the pitch. Ball. Oh, I don't know where that missed. Hudson White thought he had strike 3. He'd just about run out of here. And no, says Jeff Kinney, must have just missed inside. It was a fastball, not much movement. But Lavari stays alive to see another pitch. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. Mariners lead 4-1. The pitch. That one misses. Inside, a 4-walk game for Kenny Lavari. He has really just been strolling all around the base paths, has scored a run. Other 2 times he's been stranded.
The catcher from Duke.
So runners at the corners now for Andrew Yu. Drove in his friend Devin Obie earlier in the ball game, and he's got a chance to do it again.
It's a new season high in walks for Lavari, Devin, and the last time a Harwich Mariner had 3 walks, it was Kenny Lavari.
There you go.
It shows a lot about his capability. As mentioned, that at-bat was alive for more.
0-1 to start you as he swings right over that one. You on the day singled in the second and then struck out and reached on a fielder's choice in the fifth. Or actually didn't reach. He was inning-ending fielder's choice. Ali Camarillo is on deck for the Mariners, trying to add some insurance. Long look in from Langhorne. Count even out 1. And the pitch. Dropped in there for a strike. And it's 1-2.
He's got 2 strikeouts already here. On the verge of getting another if that slider continues to fool batters.
Langhorne set. And the pitch. There goes the runner. And it just misses. Lavari thought that Yu was going to get rang up. Stopped halfway to second. And luckily was able to scamper down there. Stolen base for him. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. The deuce is wild here at Whitehouse. 2 runners in scoring position for you. Here it is. Swing and a miss. Nasty breaking ball. Langhorne able to escape the jam, but not before the Mariners add 1 more. 4-1 Harwich, heading now to the 8th inning. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube Network. We welcome you back here, top of the 8th inning. Dylan Del Vecchio now coming out of Tarleton State. For the Mariners this season, he's appeared twice, has not allowed a run through 2 1/3 innings, 3 strikeouts, and 3 hits. Nobody walked. He's set to face top of the order in Antonacci with Mayola and Benj on deck. Devin Dobek, Wyatt Kopelman along with you. As 1-0 pitch misses inside to make it 2-0. On the day, Antonacci struck out swinging twice, once in the first, once in the third, and then he grounded out to the first baseman, Fitzgerald, back in the 5th. Hitters count, and the next pitch misses high, 3-0. 8 hits for Harwich 3 for the Anglers. Their offense has not been there. The one run they did score was without a hit. Pair of walks, and then a wild pitch was able to get him in. 3-0 in there for a strike from Del Vecchio. 7-3 born now in the top of the ninth from Doran Park. Trying to create some breathing room for the Mariners at the top of the standing. It's a 5-pitch walk to start Antonacci.
Antonacci reaching base for the first time today. Meanwhile, Del Vecchio had not allowed a walk through his first 2 appearances this season. Had a season-high 3 strikeouts before the Mariners fell 7-6 against the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox.
Aiden Mayola's turn. He grounded out to short in the first, flew out in the fourth to center, and then was involved in that really weird verbal interference call that we saw back in the sixth. And that's the reason Tom Holliday is now standing on the hill out in right after a little altercation verbally once again with the umpires. It's a ball and no strikes to Mayola. Del Vecchio comes set, and the pitch. Just misses outside, and Del Vecchio coming in relief of Xavier Martinez. He went 2 complete innings, allowed just 1 hit, no runs, struck out 2, walked 1. He was fantastic, including getting out of a first and third jam back in the 7th before he was lifted in the 8th. 2-0 is going to be chopped foul back, and so it'll be 2-1.
He's dealt 5 balls to these first 2 he's faced. Del Vecchio certainly has to dial back in. Meanwhile, for Meola, definitely needs a hit here, 0 for 3 here today. Just has not been the day thus far for Chatham hitting in the top third of the lineup.
2-1. Chop foul once again through the legs, and so it'll be 2-2. This is the part of the order you want if you're Chatham. You got Benj coming up. He's been hot, followed by Maldonado and Schubart. So if there's going to be a chance for Chatham to tie this ball game, it is now. 2-2 pitch. Chop foul once again off to the left. Nice little at-bat this time for Mayola as he stays alive. Making Del Vecchio work here. Nobody loosening in the Harwich pen. There's no real closer, real true closer at that point. Marsh earned the first save of the season, but then was also credited with the loss against YD. Might be Joe Savino loosening down in left field. Wow, you got your binoculars on. What are you seeing over there? 2-2. Misses inside, 3-2.
I am seeing a half dozen of Harwich Mariners in white sweatshirts gathering. I do see Joe Savino, the right-hander, starting to soft toss Devin, but he's not throwing off the hill.
As the next pitch misses high, ball 4, and now it'll be back-to-back walks issued, first and second, nobody out. And it actually looks like 28. I'll be interested to see. Yes, it is Chandler Marsh who's doing some throwing bands or throwing something at the wall out there. So Marsh is the one who will be loosening. Savino starting to throw on the hill, but Marsh also getting ready. So Coach Angler has his options. As now it's Benj's turn, just the guy you want up if you're an Angler fan. First pitch to him misses for a ball. It's 1-0. He's 5 for his first 6 to start the Cape Cod Baseball League season, including a pair of singles today in the first and the fourth. He also struck out in the 6th. I believe,
I think he's trying to signal he needs a mound visit here.
Yeah, talk things over with his reliever. Things getting a little sticky for Harwich. They lead by 3, and that run seeming even more pivotal now. Credit to Obi, who was able to drive it in. He's really found a way to produce for the Mariners after that slow start. Ball and no strikes. Del Vecchio comes set, checks the runners, and the pitch. Caught on a miss. A home run hack from Benj that time. He almost fell over afterwards. So it'll be 1-1.
Your holiday here, you had 10 of your first 11 retired by Josh Bosick in the start, and everything has changed since then. Even with no outs, you still have to feel a lot of pressure if you're bench.
1-1. It's going to be grounded over in the hole between third and short, and that will load up the bases. A soft single into left puts the Mariners in some serious trouble as Delvecchio has run himself into a jam here with nobody gone down.
Bordering on the threshold of a seeing eye single that time. A great effort by Camarillo at short to prevent that one from actually getting closer towards Jones than him, and that would save the run, as a matter of fact. You talk about a pivotal run, even if the Mariners hadn't had that RBI hit from Devin Obie, it would have been different.
As this one's bounced in the dirt. Nice stop by Yu to knock it down. 1-0. Maldonado on the day has flied out 3 times, twice to left, once to right. But yeah, Benj, what a big time at bat to just muscle it into left field, opposite field. His 3rd hit of the ball game. Back-to-back 3-hit games for him to start his summer on the Cape. 1-0 pitch. Misses way outside 2-0, and Delvecchio's got to be real careful here. Hitters count for the cleanup man in Maldonado. Maldonado coming into today for the Anglers was hitting 286. Or 300, excuse me, out of Vanderbilt. 3 balls, no strikes. Nowhere to put him if you're the Mariners. Here comes the pitch. And it misses low. A 4-pitch walk from Delvecchio, and he's now walked 3 of the 4 hitters he's faced, and the other one got a hit. He's in some serious trouble. Anglers make it a 4-2 ball game.
3 walks in 4 batters here for Delvecchio to start the 8th. The Anglers down by now 2 as opposed to 3. Still feel like they have nothing to lose, even with none on the board, as opposed to being 2 outs on the board. And that's going to draw Steve Englert out from the dugout.
It's actually going to be the pitching coach to talk things over with Delvecchio. Now on the mound, you got Joe Savino out there. So he's probably going to be the next guy. Got to think the pitching coach probably trying to talk Delvecchio through this, but also buying time for his reliever to get a little more loose.
And this could very well be his last out. If he gets a ground ball double play, it's great. But you're going to want to make sure that he at least gets 1 here after walking 3.
Mariners in some serious trouble here in the 8th. The first real chop they've hit in some time. 4-2 Harwich, but they're all loaded up for Chatham, trying to steal one from the M's. First pitch, breaking ball misses outside, 1-0. Delvecchio this past season at Tarleton State, a 6.97 ERA, made 13 starts, 15 games he appeared in, 60 2/3 innings, 54 strikeouts, 38 walks. Now he's behind 2-0 in the count. We'll see what he can come with. Things getting a little scary here. A bunch of Mariners fans have cleared out, probably because it's so cold, and a hit batsman. That one got him on the chest. Schubart is able to bring in a run the hard way. 4-3 Chatham, still nobody out here. Delvecchio really trying to figure something out, and this will be a pitching change. So as Englert trots out to the hill, we'll take a quick break and meet Joe Savino on the other side. You're listening to Harwich Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Call to the bullpen. It's the Italian stallion, Joe Savino, stepping onto the hill, and this is a bit of a baptism by fire into this ball game. Bases loaded, and nobody away. Lyle Miller Green, defending home run derby champion in the Cape Cod Baseball League, took down Brock Wilkin last year. Not the guy you really want to be facing. Miller Green comes in, lighting up the stat sheet, hitting .348, and he grounds this one over to third. Lavari going to come home, take the out. You down to first, not in time. Would have been a really nice turn, but the Mariners will take the lead runner. Good out for Joe Savino to start his outing. Everybody moves up a station.
And for Savino, he did go 2 1/3 innings, rather 2 2/3 innings, dealt 57 pitches in the Mariners' opening day victory against the Red Sox here at home, but he did not face a bases loaded situation. That's what you practice, and he was able to invoke the ground ball contact. A nice play that time from Lavari to go home right away.
Jansen Reeder's turn. Center fielder digs in. First pitch to him, misses outside, 1-0. Reeder is flied out to center, walked, and grounded out to second. 1-0 pitch, cut on and miss, right over it, 1-1. Savino transferring to Virginia. Last season was at Elon from Ronkonkoma, New York. Went to Connecticut High School. 1-1 pitch from Savino is going to be grounded over to the shortstop. Camarillo goes to second for one. Seaver King on the first. They got him. What a play that time. 6-4-3 they go, and the Mariners get out of the jam. Joe Savino, how do you do? Mariners head to the home half of the eighth, still clinging to a one-run lead. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Back here for the home half of the eighth. And it'll be Ali Camarillo who started that brilliant double play back in the top of the eighth. And he's set to go here 0 for 3 with a ground out and 2 flyouts, 1 to first and 1 to right. Defensive changes for the Anglers. Tate Ballestero heads down to first base. Lyle Miller Green just in there for the at-bat. He takes a seat. 0-1 now to Camarillo. And wow, talk about Joe Savino coming into a jam and being able to get out of it like that. 0-2 now to Camarillo. And the next pitch misses outside. And so It'll be 1-2.
Yeah, Savino had not inherited a bases-loaded gem. I know you mentioned it earlier, but for Savino to not even require a strikeout is huge, as he'll likely be coming back on here.
Yeah, that was just pure brilliance from Joe Savino. Swing and miss. Camarillo 0 for 4 on the day. It's been a slow night for him as he takes a seat. Langhorn staying out there, getting the job done. That will be strikeout number 4 for him.
From Kansas State, number 31.
He's definitely been great here in relief. Langhorn getting the job done with a mix of strikeouts, 3 as a matter of fact, and going into 4 now with Camarillo. He's gotten a couple of flyouts as well, aside from that 2-out triple allowed to Devin Obie.
Kalen Culpepper's turn. He's 2 for 3 on the day. He's doubled, singled, was caught stealing that time, though. He's also walked and grounded out. He's ahead in the count 1-0. And you think back to how big that triple was by Obie, there's so many people you can point to that have helped the Mariners stay with the lead here. We don't want to jump the gun yet, as Chatham does have one more at-bat. 1-1. Breaking ball just missed up high. Really good-looking pitch that time from Langhorn, but it's 2-1. 2-1's cut on and miss. Gets by the catcher, and so it'll be 2-2. Bourne Braves did defeat the Red Sox by a score of 7-3. So if Harwich is able to hold on and get the win here, they will have a 3-point boost over the Red Sox, otherwise known as a game and a half, and a 2-game lead over the Brewster Whitecaps. So pretty pivotal points right here as Culpepper rolls it over to first, trying to keep it fair, and they do, and the pitcher will tag him out. So Culpepper tagged out on the slow roller that he was praying would trickle foul, and so it's 2 up, 2 down here in the Mariner 8th.
With the speed that Culpepper's had this season, in addition to the man behind him in the lineup tonight, I don't think he was going to find a way to defy a physical force.
Here's someone who hasn't typically been quiet lately, but has been tonight. Seaver King, 0 for 4, pair of strikeouts, 1 swing, 1 looking. He's flied out to right and grounded out to the pitcher. Searching to keep his on-base streak alive. Broken bat into right field, and that will do it. Base hit for Seaver King. He's on ahead of Hunter Fitzgerald. Shattered his bat into like 3 pieces, though. Now Brian Arndt to pick up the loose change.
I think we saw about 3 last night, was it, Devin? Did you count 3 or 4?
Oh, my gosh. Maybe 4. It was crazy.
Some people here are saying 6. I'd probably concur. I guess it kind of changes the over-under you see on bats shattered.
Yep.
Bats shattered, yeah.
So big win from the Firebirds to keep the Whitecaps at 4 wins, 2 ties. Katuitt defeated Hyannis 6-1. Bourne over YD 7-3. So pair of upsets there. And Falmouth blowing out Wareham 10-2. That's in the top of the 8th. First pitch to Hunter Fitzgerald, misses inside 1-0. So just 2 games still going on. And what a wonderful one this has been, Wyatt, here at Whitehouse. Trying out a little picture-in-picture here in the 8th inning. So thank you for joining us. Not sure what the reviews will be like, but I'm sure we'll find out one way or another.
All right.
Hopefully the audience isn't too hard on us.
Well, if I had to guess, maybe one common thread would just be more lighting. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, as long as we're not in the way of the play, I think that they probably don't mind it. 2-0, misses inside 3-0.
You know, for a Chatham team that has been solid in the field this season, relatively solid, second fewest errors on the year, and just having 1 here tonight, certainly paying dividends and trying to keep extra runs off the board for the Mariners.
King over at first, 3-0's the count to Fitzgerald, and the pitch. Misses inside, a 4-pitch walk, and now just like that, the Mariners with a little 2-out rally. Brings up Kennedy Jones. He's had himself a pretty good night at the plate. Recent transfer to South Carolina. Pair of singles, and he's also walked, come around to score once, and grounded out. He's been on base 3 times. As Chatham going to talk some things over out on the mound. 9 hits for Harwich, 4 for the Anglers, but Mariners clinging to that 4-3 margin. Just 1 error for Chatham. Mariners have not made an error yet. They didn't make one last night either. Brewster made 2, and they were a pretty sound defensive team coming in. Had just 3. Mariners forced them to make 2 more.
From South Carolina, number 27, Kennedy Jones.
So Kennedy Jones's turn. 2 on ahead of him. He's been great at driving in runners. Another opportunity to do it. Already has an RBI tonight. First pitch to the newest Gamecock. In there for a strike. It's 0-1. This game, not very familiar with the pace Chatham plays at. They're usually done in about 2 hours, 20 minutes. This one already at 2:35. Just about, maybe 2:32. I guess I'm rounding up a little bit. A ball and a strike now to Jones. Mariners hoping that it's short as possible in the 9th inning. Once we get there, Jones threatening for more. That one misses way outside, 2-1. Kennedy Jones, 6'1", 212 pounds, native of Norfolk, Virginia. Rising junior, 2-1 pitch. Misses down low, 3-1. Wheels falling off the wagon for Langhorne. Nobody loosening in the Chatham pen, so he's assigned to finish this inning one way or another, unless things really got out of hand. Three 1. This is up high, and it's a 5-pitch walk. Down to first goes Kennedy Jones. 4th time he's been on base today, 2nd by way of the walk. Really nice game he's put together. And so after 2 quick outs, the Mariners now with the bases loaded for Lorenzo Carrier, who can really do some damage with one swing of the bat here.
Yeah, this is a huge spot for Carrier, and I think for Langhorne, now that you've crossed the 60-pitch threshold here, your latest relief outing starts to feel a little different from what you experienced as a redshirt freshman at Charlotte this year. Pitched in 25 1/3 innings, mostly on reserve in relief.
First pitch to Carrier. Foul tipped. He wanted that pitch. A hanging breaking ball that he just missed. If it didn't snap as hard, it was out of the ballpark. And the Mariners, some pros and cons to having these runners on base. They've stranded at least one runner in every inning up to this point. But at least they're getting on base. 1 stranded in the first, 1 in the second, 3 in the third, 1 in the fourth, 2 in the fifth, 1 in the sixth, 2 in the seventh. So getting the production, but not cashing in all the time today. As this one's flipped into foul territory out towards the Chatham bullpen, and foul just out of the reach. Long run for Tate Ballestero. But luckily, Carrier stays alive. 0-2, though. Can't be too selective when these are the cards you're dealt. On deck is Devin Obie. He's been really hot for Harwich. And he's got a great name, too. Right?
Absolutely.
0-2 pitch to Carrier. Oh, they're going to ring him up. That one just barely above the dirt. Carrier can't believe it. Slowly walks back to the dugout. And we head to the 9th. It's winning time here in Harwich. 4-3 Mariners. We'll see you on the other side. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network.
top of the ninth for the Anglers, the catcher from Texas.
8-9-1 due up for the Anglers. It'll be Hudson White, Mark Schallenberger, and Sam Antonacci. Last life for the Anglers. They trail by 1 here in the ninth. Joe Savino searching for a 6-out save. He came in back in the 8th. Bases loaded with a 1-run lead and nobody gone down. Got a ground out that forced the lead runner at home to be out and then forced a double play ball. He was fantastic trying to finish the job here. First pitch in there for a strike to make it 1-1. Savino, old reliable for the Mariners, was their pitcher of the year last season as this one's popped up to Seaver King at second, and that will be the first out, 1 away.
Career ERA just south of 4 at Elon over the past 3 seasons. He's gone nearly 170 innings pitched, and he started 80 games. So despite not starting this year for the Phoenix, he just knows what it takes to induce that ground ball contact and continue to elevate his performance down the late stretch of innings.
First pitch now to the 9-hitter Schallenberger is going to be in there for a strike. A 1 from Savino. It's going to be grounded up the middle, cut off by King. Oh, but he can't glove it. It comes down. It would have been a tough throw to make, but definitely not out of his range of motion. And so that's going to be a really tough one to score. And they haven't decided whether it's going to be a hit or an error, but a tough play for King, and it puts the tying run on first base.
The shortstop from Harlan Community College, number 49, Sam Antonacci.
Just a slow roller for King. I'd have to think that can be a base hit.
And this one's going to be lined into left, right at Jones. Back-to-back hits for the Anglers. They're going to be both ruled base hits. So the Mariners now in some trouble. Savino in another pressure situation. Let's see how he can respond.
Yeah, I didn't really see King exactly boot it. It certainly didn't trail into the outfield. He kept it in front of him. I think it was just too close of a play to make nonetheless. I think that's why they didn't give him an error.
Aiden Mayola's turn. Mayola came around to score in the 8th. On deck is Carson Benj. He is dangerous. Savino needs to try and get the out now, or Benj is going to find a way to put it in play and tie this game. For now, it's Mayola. 0-1 is bounced in the dirt, 1-1. The Chatham faithful who've stayed are cheering loudly. Most of the Harwich fans filed out when it was 4-1 after the 50-50 announcement, and it is a little cold, so can't necessarily blame them. 1-1. This is up high, 2-1. And there is action now in the Chatham bullpen because they are anticipating this game to go to the bottom of the 9th. Savino, long look in, 2 balls and a strike to Mayola. The pitch, bounced in the dirt, 3-1. And now the Mariners really being put to the test. That 1-run lead was not strong enough, evidently. 3-1 count. The pitch. In there for a strike. Big one from Savino. You do not want to walk him full for the best hitter on the team. Biggest pitch of the ball game up to this point coming up. Payoff. Missed it. And that will be ball 4. Bases loaded, back-to-back hits. And a walk, and now some real turbulence as the best hitter in the Chatham order, and Carson Benj will climb in.
I think this is the point where Langhorne would be lifted for the right-hander, and Aiden Finateri of Georgia Tech. He's warming up, the Watertown, Connecticut native. Had an ERA just around 4.5 this year. But with a base hit here, it could be a Chatham lead, and you could be looking at Finateri in a save chance.
Carson Benj watches ball 1 go by, the whole bench into it over in Chatham. Benj on the day, 3 singles. He's also struck out swinging. What will he do here? 1-0 pitch. Just misses for a ball, 2-0. Hitters count now. Very dangerous territory for Savino. Man, he could use one of those tailor-made double play balls right now. We will see. Corners are in. Everyone else double play depth. 3-0. Savino struggling to hit the strike zone. And Mariners fans holding their breath and biting their nails now. Savino comes set. 3-0. In there right down the middle for a strike. Could cut the tension with a knife here despite the 100-some-odd people that have stayed in this Arctic tundra we call home field, as that one misses inside and the game is tied. A great at-bat for for Benj, and he's able to reach. Bases still loaded with one away.
Kind of becomes a factor of experience not being a factor in this point. I mentioned earlier that Savino is so experienced to this Mariners pitching staff, in addition to pitching nearly 170 frames at Elon. But after only facing 2 in the 8th and getting that 6-4-3 double play, it's turned into a new ball game.
First pitch to Maldonado, in there for a strike, 0-1. Maldonado has flied out 3 times and walked. The pitch misses, and it'll be 1 ball and 1 strike now. And tough play for Seaver King, but if he makes it 2 away, bases empty, could be a whole new story. Definitely not his fault. A very difficult play, but just what could have been. Over to Lavari. Lavari will go home for 1. You couldn't get it out of his glove to get it to first, but they will settle for the lead runner at the plate. You just had some trouble on the transfer. Could have been a 5-2-3 double play. And so now another batter will have to come to the plate in Nolan Schubart.
It's been 5 walks over the stretch of the 8th and the 9th here. Or rather the 8th and the 9th, yes. And for you, that time just did a good job not throwing the baseball away. It's what you're taught to do as a catcher. If you're unsure about going down to first and you think it's going to be too close, just hold on.
First pitch in there for a strike. It's 0-1. Nolan Schubart on the day has doubled and been hit by a pitch. 0-1. This is going to be lifted out to left field. Long run for Kennedy Jones, sinking away. He dives and makes the catch. Kennedy Jones made the catch, a full extension. What a play. We head to the bottom of the 9th. This game staying tied at 4. We'll see you in just a moment. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Welcome back. Bottom of the ninth here at Whitehouse. No walk-off wins for the Mariners thus far. Aiden Finateri called to the bullpen. Comes in 6'0", 224 this past season at Georgia Tech, a 4.64 ERA. Got the save against Wareham back on the 16th. 1 1/3 innings pitched, 2 hits, 2 strikeouts, no runs. First pitch to Obi. Misses inside for a ball.
He had 56 strikeouts, 64 innings in his freshman season at Georgia Tech.
This is what Chatham wanted, or who they wanted to come to the mound, as Obi almost ripped that one down the line, but it's foul. Final line for Miles Langhorn, 3 complete innings of relief, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 5 strikeouts to 4 walks. Really good relief outing from him to keep it close and give his team a chance, as Obi pops this one into shallow right field. Coming in is Benj, and he will make the catch for out number 1.
I meant to say, Finateri getting those 56 strikeouts this season. Had a career 6 strikeouts this year in a loss to Pittsburgh, so he's capable of being able to retire batters by the way of the K. We'll see how Kenny Lavari can approach this here, someone who has reached all 4 times on a walk. So probably the most interesting matchup we might see here.
Lavari, yes, as you mentioned, 4 walks for him. Still is not recording that bat. Could use another walk here real bad. 0-1 to the Old Dominion infielder. Finateri takes the sign into his windup and the pitch. In there for a strike, and now Lavari down 0-2. Andrew Yu on deck for the Mariners. As 0-2 offering. Fouled back. Lavari stays alive. It'll still be 0-2. Here in Harwich, definitely not very warm. Feeling like less than 60 degrees. 0-2. That one just missed outside. Lavari thought about it, held up, and it's 1-2. 9 hits for the Mariners, 6 for the Anglers. We are tied at 4 after a 3-run surge in the 8th and 9th innings from Chatham. 1-2. Bounced way in front of the plate, probably a good 2-3 feet. And so count moves to 2-2. Nice at bat for Lavari.
Have to attack the hitters here. Good way to lower your ERA.
There is a possible 10th inning that could happen, as that one will be in there. Lavari is rung up. First strikeout for Finateri. And there's 2 away now in the bottom of the 9th. But yes, there will be a 10th inning with a ghost runner on second base. But if there's no lead for either side after 10 innings, then we will have a tie and a point apiece. Andrew Yu digs in. 1 for 4 on the day. Fouls off the first pitch he sees. It's 0-1. Singled in the second. Drove in a run, actually, which was Devin Obi. And he struck out swinging. Grounded into a fielder's choice and struck out again in the 7th. He's behind the count 0-1. On deck, Ali Camarillo. 0-1. He is going to be chopped softly over the shortstop. Antonacci charges in, throws across the body in time. 1-2-3 ninth for Aiden Finateri. And this game is going to need extras. We'll take a quick break and be right back on the other side. 4-4 here at Whitehouse. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube Network. Extra innings for the first time this season for the Harwich Mariners. Due up will be, it will be Tate Ballestero.
For Chatham, the first baseman from St. John's, number 5, Tate
Ballestero followed by Jansen, Reeder, and Hudson White. 6, 7, 8 for the Anglers. Not their best part of the order, but they do have Schubart down at second. Bunt attempt was fouled, and so it'll be 0-1. Forgot about that ghost runner for a second. I looked up and I was like, oh my goodness, like what happened? What did I miss? But of course, that a necessity here. Just this one inning, we remind you, there can be a tie. 0-1 to Ballestero. Thought about the bunt. Did he pull it back in time? Yes, he did. So says the third base umpire, Ryberg. Ball and a strike. Savino comes set, and the pitch. Bunt attempt again, and it will be in fair territory. Savino will have to go one. The throw just barely in time. Oh boy, hold your breath. Scary first out, advances the runner down to third. And so that'll bring up Jansen Reeder with a chance to give Chatham their first lead of the ball game.
Yeah, that's just the play you need. It's a classic bunt. It wasn't exactly a traditional push bunt, but it was able to move Savino off the mound away from his glove side. Now there's one away.
Jansen Reeder's turn. He wants some vengeance. First pitch from Savino misses up high. He grounded into the inning-ending double play with the bases loaded back in the eighth. Had a chance to do the job for Chatham then. It didn't work. Fumble on the play, Wyatt.
Recovered in time. No turnover.
1-0 from Reeder is going to be blown away. 2-0. In addition to that double play, Reeder is grounded out to second, walked, and flied out to center. Infield in for the Mariners, trying to take that run off the board if they can, as that pitch misses down low. And so it'll be 3-0. Here's the pitch from Savino. Right down the middle again, 3-1. It is getting cold up here.
It's getting cold here. The fastball still has some heat upstairs, and looks like Reeder didn't have the green light to be swinging.
3 balls and a strike. Savino comes set. Here comes a pitch from Reeder. Oh, it missed for a ball. I don't know about that one. That was borderline at the knees, but it'll be runners at the corners now for Hudson White.
The catcher from Texas Tech.
6 combined walks now in 2 1/3 innings here. You got an out initially, but there is still an opportunity for an inning-ending double play. As it looks like it's going to be R.J. Thomas to come out of a word.
No, this time I think Steve Englert. Probably just trying to calm down Savino. I'm not seeing anyone really active out there in the bullpen, but who knows what Harwich will elect to do. Englert, big on communication, likes to talk his players through it. Oh, our producer Sean Sears is getting ready to throw. Oh, that's one way to lose a game. You can't hear me through the glass next to us, but wouldn't that be a scenario? Hudson White, the catcher, flied out to center, struck out swinging, walked, and popped out to second. Here we go. Runners at the corners. I would imagine we would see Reeder in motion at some point. A bunt attempt. It's popped up. Savino's got it. He can go to third for the out. And he does. What a play! Joe Savino catches the bunt in the air and fires to third. A bang-bang double play. And that's the second time Joe Savino has got out of a serious jam. Mariners with a chance to walk it off in the bottom of the 10th. We'll be back in a flash. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. What an exciting game here from Whitehouse. As we are into the bottom of the 10th, Matt Scannell will replace Andrew Yu as the ghost runner. Ali Camarillo with a chance to be the hero in Harwich. Back out there is Finiteri. Camarillo thought about a bunt, pulled it back, and it's 1-0. What an exciting ball game, though, after Joe Savino getting out of back-to-back jams with the potential game-winning run on third base, thanks to double play. Camarillo thought about the bunt. It gets by. Down to third goes Scannell. And he's now 90 feet away from the Mariners winning this ball game.
Yeah, pass ball that time, and Scannell took advantage of it right away. Not the fastest, but still read the ball really well that time. And that's got to go on the catcher in White.
And yeah, White probably thinking if there's a bunt attempt that he wants to pick it up and find a way to get the out at third. And just forgot about catching the ball because Camarillo pulled back. But now Ali with a chance to be the hero here. 2-0 pitch is going to be lined into center field. In comes Scannell, and the Mariners walk this one off at home. 5-4 is your final. Ali Camarillo, the hero, the newest Texas A&M Addy, delivers the 4th straight win for Harwich. What a ball game here from Whitehouse.
Ali Camarillo hitting in the 9-hole, a victim of a strikeout, a ground out, fouled out, and flied out Devin. There could not have been more pivotal of a time to be due. After a pass ball, Matt Scannell running for Andrew Yu at second, and Camarillo just waited and sat back and got the right pitch. And it was just left a little bit high, not even at the letters, and it was a little bit on the inner half as well. But Camarillo, how versatile we've been. We've been talking about him throughout the broadcast here today, how versatile he's been at different points of the lineup, and he delivered when he needed to.
He did indeed, and the Mariners will take that win despite all the jump scares. We got so much to break down on the Mariners post-game show. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. 5-4, the final from Whitehouse. We'll be back in a flash on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Welcome into the Harwich Mariners postgame show. Devin Dilbeck alongside Wyatt Kopelman after a thrilling 5-4 victory here from Whitehouse Field. Joe Savino, after going to the gates of hell, metaphorically of course, getting out of 2 jams with the runner 90 feet away with double play balls. He was sensational. He put himself in one of the jams but was able to get out of it. Wyatt, before we get into all the walk-off stuff, can we talk about the performance from the Harwich pitching staff? Josh Bostic came in, did a great job. 5 complete innings. Obviously stinks that he wasn't able to get the win tonight, but Joe Savino picking up the loose change, getting the win.
You expect to get a deep start out of Josh Bostic the second time around. You think that a career high 7 strikeouts for the Grayson College product, in addition to retiring 10 of the first 11 batters that you face, perhaps gets you a win in a low-scoring ball game. The Chatham Anglers, they had an extra ounce of energy in them here tonight in their lineup, and despite coming off a 2-1 victory, a very triumphant victory over the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox last night, 2-1. They didn't seem to be wavering fatigue down the stretch. They really didn't have a lot of hits going into later innings, and it was Joe Savino who really took care of it after he got out of a bases-loaded jam, 6-4-3.
Yeah, no magic for the Anglers here tonight. Mariners have won 5 of their last 6, but Ali Camarillo, he comes in 0 for 4, and after that 4th at bat, you could see he was really frustrated with himself. He comes in, bottom of the 10th inning, after a pass ball, and drives in Matt Scandal to win the ball game. That's got to put such a monkey off his back. A big hit in a timely spot. Situational baseball is all we can talk about. And we talked about how great the relief is. Well, how about a clutch pizza hitting that time?
Time heals a lot of wounds in baseball, but when you're 0 for 4, you're due up in the bottom of the lineup, you have an agenda, really, just to push it past the infield. You notice how it didn't really try and hit a home run, and that was starting to seem the metaphor that the Mariners had begun to embody at the plate, just trying to get that extra base hit. And the Mariners, when they load the bases, even though they had left the bases stranded at 2 different points in the game already, they looked to Camarillo, and it was the 3rd time the charm for him.
Credit to the Anglers. They were able to battle back. They scored 2 in the 8th, 1 in the 9th to tie it and force extras, but unfortunately, it just fell short. The Mariners, I believe, will travel to Veterans Field tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, to take on these Anglers again. Should be a fun one. Tom Holliday will be back after the whole weird incident there. But, yeah, a great game nonetheless. Final thoughts heading into Chatham tomorrow, Wyatt?
I mean, you certainly have to look to get these deep starts out of your starting rotation. Josh Bostic certainly took a step up today after only getting 2 strikeouts in that 12-1 loss against Wareham. Ran into trouble with a few extra base hits allowed after retiring 7 up in the first 7 he faced. And you know that you're going to find that to be contagious as well. Giving confidence to the next man in the rotation is going to be critical. But for Ali Camarillo, he still finds ways to get on base. That's what's going to have to be translated to the rest of this lineup in order to keep this winning streak going.
Well, that's the final one more time. 5-4 Harwich. They out-hit Chatham 10-6 and did not make an error to the Chatham 1. That's your final box score. The win goes to Joe Savino, his 2nd of the season. Aiden Finateri is credited with the loss there in the extra frames. But that will just about do it for us here. So for our producer, Sean Sears, for Wyatt Kopelman, for myself, Devin Dobeck, thank you so much for joining us on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. And always remember to live the dream. We'll see you tomorrow night in Chatham.